Hotep Senuhena Senut ET Ren Ishakan Dugu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to check the sound to make sure you can hear me loud and clear. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to check the sound. Yes, you can. Beautiful. Come on in, brothers and sisters. I have green beans, potatoes, tomatoes, and what have you, and all that good stuff. Chet neferet, as the ancients used to say. What is that I wanted to do? I've checked that already. There's something I wanted to do. Well, first of all, I can see that I don't have my peripherals correct. That's better. Now, brothers and sisters, yes, I wanted to mention that the picture that you have in the background and the picture that is the thumbnail to this video is the King Amenhotep III, one of the most powerful ruler of Kemet. Get that horse and his wagon, get that man and his rifle, get that priest and his Bible, for them that's dead on arrival, for them that don't see heaven, for them that pray see heaven, separate but equal, to them that slave my people, to break them chains and shackles. I made a mistake. It was supposed to be for them that pray see heaven, for them that don't see devil. Those of you who have seen the movie The Harder They Fall heard that song, but what I didn't know is that I thought they made that song for the movie, but it's called the Jim Crow Count, but someone called James Samuel. Now James is spelled Jeymes. So I've learned something new today. The Harder They Fall is a movie. Oh, no. 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 James Samuel is the director or the producer of the movie The Harder They Fall. So, but okay, it appears that that song was made for the movie indeed, and it was performed by the actress that we see portraying what's her name again, Stagecoach Mary. I really like that movie. It was well made, even though the real Rufus was he and his gang, they were serial rapists. But I guess I will sue Pan-Africans because Pan-Africans are rapist defenders and pedophile defenders, but that's another business. I hope you're doing well, brothers and sisters. I have a little bit of time on my hands, so feel free to holler at me. Let's chop it up. Let's talk. Let's see what's up. And if there's nobody, then I'm out like Vanilla Ice. I've shared the invite link in the chat. So to the brave ones are not afraid to show their face, then feel free to come and say what's up. So the title says, now you know you've been lied to What will you do? And this is in reference to, as a matter of fact, this is in reference to what I've been saying for a long time, that we have so many people before us who taught us many different things. And the majority of them were very tied to this Abrahamic belief system to the point where they've tried to put black people in the mix. So we've heard about the black Semites business, the black Arabs business, and the black Jew Hebrew Israelite business, which is all wrong, not factual at all. And I've been listening to that broadcast from my brother Chris, MVP Anthony Harris. Chris MVP Harris. You can check out his YouTube account. And he was talking with someone who is obviously a Hebrew Israelite or someone of that persuasion. And it's funny how we have some of our people making claims and they are never able to back it up. At one point, we heard that Hebrew Israelites say or claim that Hebrews were described as black people in ancient time. You have to understand why there's a great hate and jealousy when it comes to Kemet, because we have the records and we have the depiction. And indeed, Brother Chris pointed out that fact that we have depictions of the Asiatics, and one of the most famous one is the one from Beni Hassan. And we see the reproduction most of the time because the original one is a bit, it's not so well preserved, but the original one is it can be seen. So some people describe those individuals as Canaanites, others describe them as Asiatics. But we can clearly see, indeed, from their phenotype that they are clearly white skinned. They are not black at all. And this is like probably like 14 or 1300 BC. So that settles the argument of a black Jesus and black Muhammad. I mean, of course, I'm not basing my premise on this artifact alone. There's plenty of other artifacts with depictions of the Asiatics, you see. And there's not only from Kemet, but from those different locations as well. And I can never mention the standard of ore enough. There's that video called Black Semites Shocking Revelation. Just anybody is free to type in the search box on YouTube and you will see. So now that you know you've been lied to, that we don't belong, we are not the people who brought forth those Abrahamic belief system, what will you do? Hey, Beverly Gunn, it's been a long time. How you doing? Feel free if you have any questions or comments. What would you do, brothers and sisters? See, I have a proposition. See, some people like to boast that their book has not been tampered with ever since. But with Kemet, it's not even a matter of anything being tampered with. We have the originals. The first time it was written, it is still there. That's what we see in museums. So this great ancient culture, you can learn it. And in order to really understand it, there's the language or the writing. And if you didn't know, brothers and sisters, I've been teaching the Middle Nature. And really, I would like to have another group. So if any of you are ready to take it to the next level, then let me know. Some of you might feel like, well, I don't want to learn the language of Kemet. Well, there's other African languages. Be my guest. Be my guest. But it's safe at this point to say that it's needless to try to claim some relationship between black people and the Abrahamic belief system. And when it comes to Islam, there's that PhD in Islamic study who ran ran away, took out running a decade ago. Or about 2 years ago, I think I would check the date. Um, it's about 2 years ago. Yes, 2 years ago. About 2 years ago, there's that French speaker and Arabic speaker who's been trying to claim the same thing, and I address the claim, not his claim, but the claim of black Arabs of the 7th century and Prophet Muhammad being black. The article is in French and in English, so it's on my website. For those who don't know, this is the address here, but you have the link in the description box. So I think he's been. How long has it been? He hasn't said anything now. I think it's about a year. Yes, 1 year has been silent. You know, so some things, it's only so long fake ones can pretend. Something go for a little while, but ultimately it doesn't really last. You know. Um. So what will you do, brothers and sisters? That's my question to you. In terms of culture, what will you do? What are you planning to do? And I sent that song that we have in the movie The Harder They Fall because Jay-Z is one of the guy who was behind this movie. And if we had our stuff together, I'm pretty confident that we will have some celebrities of all sorts, or whether they are athletes, whether they are uh, actors, or just celebrities, wealthy people, rich people. If we had our stuff together, I'm quite confident, they will um, help us financially. But the way that things are, if I was wealthy, I wouldn't want to associate myself with the mess that we have. Well, rapists and pedophiles are uploaded, you know. So, for those who don't know, Jay Z started his career with Jazzo. And if you look at the music video, I think it's called The Originators, Jazzo featuring Jay Z. But there's one video where we have both those brothers, and at the end, we can see Jazzo holding a painting slash picture of Malachi York. And Malachi York has been in prison for some very serious charges. So it's very delicate to address him. Of course, many people say he's innocent, but I've heard his own son saying that he witnessed his father raping a girl. Now, I'm aware for a long time that many Nubians claim that it's because of his son that he's in prison, but his son stated that publicly. You know, I don't know if y'all heard it, but can you imagine if there wasn't any of those charges? Now that Jay-Z is a billionaire. So of course, I'm not saying that, people should get involved in the quote unquote struggle or involved in African culture or black culture in hopes of being financially helped by celebrities. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, if we had our stuff together, then most likely, we will get some support, some significant support. But no matter what we do, we should not expect wealthy people to be down. We should try to strive to become self-sufficient. We have to separate ourselves from the fence riders. They set us back years. They set us years back. At this point, if we know something is falsehood, we don't need the falsehood. Now I'm aware we have many slick people like to, say, well, I take what's good and I leave out what's bad. You know, same ones who say if you can't beat them, join them. Same one who say death before dishonor. Doesn't match, but it is what it is. I would like to hear from you, brothers and sisters. And I've noticed there's less people ever since I've been insisting about the Metal Nature class, and ever since people got to know that I'm giving many classes, I realize that it's cool. It is what it is. Some people have a problem with you being successful in something that you do. Sometimes it might be jealousy, it might be envy, whatever. I've noticed that it's cool. It's cool. But there are still some loyal ones. It's just a matter of catching them or them catching me when I go live streaming, because it is not announced beforehand. But I would love to hear from you, brothers and sisters. So if you are a usual caller, or if you just happen to stumble upon this platform, then feel free. I love the interaction. If there's no interaction, it will be short. So what should we do? Should we call it a day now, or should we keep it pushing? You might have a question, you might have something you agree with or disagree with. But the Semites were not black, brothers and sisters. Wake up. We have depictions of the Semites. All it takes is for you to go to a museum. That's all it takes for you to do. The Semites were not black, brothers and sisters. Wake up. It's over. It's a done deal. It's a done deal. And as a matter of fact, Brother Chris mentioned the claim of some people who say, well, Dr. Ben said that, Jesus was black, or the Hebrews were black. I mean, he's one of his first book is We the Black Jews. But once again, um, and I have it on tape somewhere, but Dr. Ben said he used to be a Jew until he knew better. You know, and for a record, for all those who want to quote Dr. Ben, just listen to what he says about the Abrahamic belief system.
And for those of you who call yourself black Jews, for those of you who are glad because you're African Jews, because you're the first Jews, you ain't shit. And I've been in that thing. Don't tell me about it. I didn't come through the back roads. I was born in it, from parents who were born in it. But it's a copy and a cop out of the African religions, and not even religion, worship along the Nile. Go and get something new that you do, and then tell me it's something unique. That go for you Christians and Muslims and everything else who take the same slave master, whether it be an Arab slave master or a European slave master, it don't make a goddamn difference. This time you get your own religion. Go back to the old time religion along the Nile. It's about time that we deal with each other straight up. It's time that the jiving stops. If you say that you're African, why go? If you got pea soup on the table, eat it. Don't eat the vomit. Don't eat the soup after somebody done ate it before and then vomit it. Don't go to Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. That's the vomit. When you could go to the religion down the Nile. But you don't like that. You're mad with me right now. And you're talking about the original religion and the original language. And Adam and Eve. And people are dying out here. People are fighting for their life to support their children. And all you thinking about getting on your knees, begging the Lord to do something. Talk to the Lord if you want. Any one of the Lords. Make sure you got some, for every Lord, You see, you got a goddess. You want me to take the little story for little kids, Adam and Eve, and treat it as if they're two people rather than a moral story. You want me to take the little story for little. And that's why. Did you own you? Because you got to go to Bethlehem. You got to go to Jerusalem. You got to go to Mecca. There's one time, the people in Mecca used to watch Jerusalem. It's only when they ever realized the amount of money in this thing that he said, watch to the east, Mecca. What happens if I'm in China and I look to the east? I don't see Mecca. That's behind my back. You dummy.
All right. So, for the record, this is Dr. Ben's stance about these Abrahamic belief systems. It's funny to me when people are trying to use Dr. Ben to get some legitimacy with the claims of Black Semites. Black Semite is a fallacy. We have a light bearer, naturally spiritual. Greetings to you. Well, brothers and sisters, it looks like it's going to be a short one because there's no interactions, no questions. Nobody is using the link that I've shared in the chat called invite link so that you can get on the panel. Of course, you need to show your face because we're not doing anything illegal. I've been doing this for a long time, over 15 years. So I don't feel like I'm doing anything illegal, but people have their reasons why they don't want to show their face. We have Queen DR who wrote very interesting topic. We have Beverly Gunn who wrote, soon as I learn how, will cash up you that $13 this week. Well, I have the PayPal. For those who feel generous, those who feel like supporting my efforts. Hold on. I don't like it when I can't copy and paste. There it is. I'm going to share that in the chat. So here in the chat, you both have the Cash App and the PayPal. PayPal.me/Ma'at forever. I actually prefer. Sorry for the noise. I actually prefer PayPal. It's more convenient to me. Is there anybody that wants to learn the Meta Nature? If anybody wants to learn the Meta Nature, Light Bearer, great. Greetings,
Hey,
sister.
brother, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Thank you for having me
Oh, you're welcome. It's a pleasure.
again.
Again? Oh, we spoke before. We spoke before, have we?
How are you?
I'm
I'm
fine.
trying to hear. It's
Oh,
not. I guess it's my phone. It's bad.
well, we can hear a lot of. We can hear the wind a lot. Is there any way you can get inside?
Yeah, I'll go inside.
Oh, thank you very much. See, brothers and sisters, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
that might have better.
It doesn't take much to just call in.
Okay,
I'll usually
there
share the
we go.
link. All right,
Is that
sister.
better?
Yeah, much better. Thank you for that.
Okay.
You said again. So have we spoken before? I forgot.
Yeah, it's been a while. I was just light bearer then. Then I kind of changed I added to it.
Okay. How long ago was it? Like, was it a year ago or more?
Probably in the early stages when I first subscribed to you.
Okay. Well, feel
About
free
3
to speak,
years
sister.
ago.
3 years. Oh, I understand. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, feel free to speak, sister. Feel free to say what's on your mind.
I
Or feel
really
free to ask any
appreciate your
question.
channel.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're giving so much information. I really appreciate it. We need more people out there spreading truth and digging and researching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really appreciate you.
Oh, thank
I
you.
just wanted you to know that.
I appreciate that. I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that. It's a big change because you get a
And
lot of Yes, feel free, sister.
yeah, because our people need to come out of this illusion that, and the only way you can get to your true purpose is through truth. And I think that a lot of our people need to know that. And it's not, I'm tired of all this falsehood, religions, trapping people and causing them to behave in some weird way, controlling their minds and controlling them instead of them knowing that they are supposed to be self-accountable and self-controlled. Yeah, a lot of illusions out here, you know. They think they have to be a part of this group, that group. You know, we need togetherness, but we don't need groups, you know.
Well, we don't need falsehood. You know,
Yeah.
if you have group that speak the truth, and
Mm-hmm.
by truth, of course, I mean facts, because some people say truth is relative, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, sister, are you from the Caribbeans?
No, a lot of people think that I'm from actually Kentucky,
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. So
but
when that's
of course, you know, down the line, my ancestors from all over the place, you know, all over
okay,
different
okay,
places. Yeah, so
all right. Mhm.
yeah, I get that all the time. No, I was active duty military, so I got a lot of accents. Plus, I'm married to an African, so I got a lot of accents I pick up.
Which
Yeah.
country is he from, if you don't mind me asking?
He grew up in England, but he's from
Mm.
Ghana.
Ghana. Oh,
Hmm. Hmm.
what can I say? Akwaba, Memwache.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I'm sure if you would have heard, I presume he speaks Twi, right?
Yeah, he speaks Twi.
Yeah. So there's a Hebrew Israelite that said that Nyame is Yahweh. So I'm sure your
Yeah.
husband will be laughing at that claim.
Mhm. Yeah.
Have you ever been to Ghana?
No, not yet. But I've been to England and I've been to Bahrain and
Bahrain.
been
All
to
right.
different other Afghanistan, all the different other countries. I haven't been to any Asian countries yet, but that's
All right.
interesting because we got a lot of history in Asia as well that they hide from us.
Yeah, kind
And
of,
a
but I
lot of
think.
times I
Mhm.
think about those places and I'm like, they got to be powerful places for them not to allow people in those places. You know, just
Mm.
like you go and you explore, you know, you go to the museums, but they hide a lot of information. They won't display them.
Well, there are some artifacts that are not on display. I personally don't think they hide the artifacts because um scholars,
Hmm.
particularly PhDs, usually have access to the artifacts that are not on display. And sometimes, I guess, even if it's not a scholar, if it's
Hmm.
like a TV channel or any kind of entity that does some documentary or investigation, they will grant them access. But really,
Hmm.
whenever they make documentaries about history, they usually have one or a few PhDs on board as well.
Right.
Um, so I personally don't think they hide artifacts, in museums. I know some of our people say that, but then again, I don't know for sure. But that's my personal
Well,
stance.
what I'm talking about is you know, in Asia, parts of Asia, there was still some of this that you talking about, Kemet. It was
Mm.
part of Kemet as well, some of Asia. And I'm talking about those places in there that people are not allowed to go to, you know. So there's still those places, those buildings, those, you know, those things that are kind of like artifacts, like temples, like more like pyramids and stuff like that, you know, that we're not allowed to go visit certain places in Asia. You know.
I don't know. I don't know. They might have some structures, but I don't know
Mhm.
if we can call them pyramids. I don't know.
Well, no, not necessarily pyramids, but other things, you know.
Yeah, other things. All
Yeah.
right, all right.
So
So you are
that's
you
the thing. We get cut off from, like, a lot of us can't go to, is it Antarctica?
Antarctica, where it's cold?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Like they banned us. A regular average person can't go travel there, you know. Um, Stuff like that.
Are you retired from the army now?
Something like that from the Navy. Yeah.
Oh, Navy. Okay, okay.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever thought about learning the Medu Neter?
Huh?
Have you ever thought about learning the Medu Neter? Did you ever try to learn it?
To learn the language.
Yes, the hieroglyphic.
Yeah, a little bit. That's how, you know what? when I was Hebrew Israelite, that's what made me, when I was studying, at the same time, I was trying to learn Hebrew, but at
Mm,
the same time, I was trying to learn the Meta Netra. And
mm,
when I put them together, I was like, this is the same thing.
mm. I want to
This
say the
is
same
where
thing.
they derived it from, you know. So I was like, basically, when I'm learning languages, like I learned when I was studying French and Spanish, and
Vous
it was
parlez français,
similar.
madame? Vous parlez
Huh?
français? Vous parlez français? Tu parles français?
Yeah.
Oh,
Very, let me see. Très petite.
ah, très
Très
peu,
petite.
très peu,
But yeah,
très peu, very little.
beaucoup.
We don't actually beaucoup. Oh, beaucoup means a lot.
Mhm,
We don't
mhm.
actually pronounce the s. Actually, it's like
Okay.
English speakers say Paris, Paris, but we say Paris. We don't pronounce the
Paris.
s.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. I've heard that many times in my lessons. They say Paris. Yeah.
yes.
And yeah, but I think what with me with French, I just need to be over and I need to be around French speaking people more, and then I would get it.
Hmm.
The problem with learning the language is if you're not around the people,
Hmm.
and until you, like when I was out at Disneyland, I heard someone speaking. I heard some French people, and I was like, I caught on to it. I knew what they were talking about.
Mm.
But other than that, if you're not around it all the time, you just, you lose it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
particularly when you're at the learning stage, it's very important to speak on a regular basis. And once you're really familiar with the language, if you
Hmm.
don't speak it for a while, it's okay, unless you don't speak it for years. But what's convenient is the internet. If you can find some people that you can communicate with on a regular basis, then that will help you. But really, to know a foreign language is very useful. It's also very good for the brain. It's great exercise. And
Yeah.
as black people, it's good to have some, at least one culture that we can tie ourselves to, like the Jewish people. A lot
Right.
of them go to Israel. They call it Aliyah. It's a return home. So they will actually learn the Hebrew because, as a matter of fact, for
Hmm.
a person to become a citizen of Israel, it is required that he learns the Hebrew language.
Right. Right. It's like, like I try to tell people, Israel is only ISIS right now.
It is not, sister. I must say it is
Yeah.
not.
But they,
It it
people are
is.
blind to just seeing that. It's
Mm.
and
But it's actually, sister. It's not the case.
uh-huh.
Israel is not is ISIS Israel.
Mhm.
This is something that's linguistic gymnastics. I've read that before. I came across a website and it was some more. Can you hear me, sister? Can you hear me?
Mhm. No, I can't hear.
Um, well, maybe you need to move. But I
I
don't know how
should
the
put my
connection is.
earplugs in, yeah, because I
Yeah,
think the
well,
thing
feel
is.
feel free if you want to put them on. Feel free.
Let me see if I can put
Yeah,
my
feel free.
earplugs in real
Yeah,
quick. I
take your
think I'll
time.
hear you
Yeah,
better
yeah.
because my
Take
phone then started
take your time.
acting like this.
Take your time. Take your time. And
Okay.
let me know when you're ready. Now we have Queen DR wrote interested in learning Meta. Well, all you need to do, um, Queen DR, is just email me. Hold on. He
Okay.
always does that here. Hold on.
Oh,
Why is he doing this?
I think it should work
Okay, hold on. Oh snap. Okay, I do another way.
way better. Okay.
So
At least,
so
yeah. Okay, that's better.
that's better.
Can
Oh,
you hear
that's great.
me?
That's great. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
good.
So just for the sister Queen DR, I've emailed I've put up my email address in the chat. So anybody who's interested in learning the MetaNetra, make sure that you copy and paste the address to make sure there's no mistake. And just let me know the days and the time slots that will suit you so that I will know your availabilities. I'm looking for a group, so it will be most likely Saturday. Uh, Saturday 11 p.m. just like the Friday group. I have a Friday group
Mhm.
which is 11 p.m. but that has already started, so people cannot really catch up. So anybody who's interested, who would like to learn the better nature,
Mhm.
on a Saturday at 11 p.m. If I have enough people, then I will start. So I would like to have around 10 people, because at the end of the day, it's not for everybody, and some people will not continue. So at
And you
least,
said it's Friday?
well, Friday there's already a group, but it has started already. We've done a few
Okay.
classes already, so I'm looking for a new group for Saturday.
Okay.
11
Saturday.
and of course I did not mention 11 p.m. EST, New York time. New York time. So if I can get close to 10 people, eventually, some people will not continue. So if at least it remains five, then that's good. So uh bear that in mind, brothers and sisters. uh
Mhm.
the classes are like 1 hour. Oh, I forgot to mention also, it's not free of charge. There's a fee.
Mhm.
It's $10 per class. And like
Mhm.
I've said before, other people charge $50 for a class. So
Right.
there was even someone who was charging €50, which is a bit
Mhm.
stronger than the dollars. So um,
Right.
what's convenient with the group class during that time slot is that, we have Bro Born who wrote
Mhm.
that he's down for Saturday 11 p.m. EST. Well, same thing, brother. Just email me, and whoever is fine with that time slot, let me know. Okay, that time slot suits me. If that time slot doesn't suit you, let me know, because I might be able to come up with a different time slot. But uh oh, he knows some Topcast knows some. Yeah, we spoke Topcast. I remember you, the one who told me about the Septuagint. The one who was talking about Septuagint. He wrote the Ankh Mira Jet
Mhm.
Shaka, which means um give, well, it's a formula that we have on many artifacts, but basically, given life like Ra forever. And then he put my name
Mhm.
Shaka, because some people don't know, they call me Ma forever. But yeah, our brother Topcast knows some Melu nature, obviously. And what he did is
Okay.
that he used the transliteration according to the MDC, but I explained that during the classes. So I'm very happy when I see people who know some Melu nature. Feels good.
Mhm.
So brothers and sisters, really, seize
Mhm.
this opportunity. And by the way, for those who don't know, there's some testimonials on my channel. you know but yeah, sister, like I was trying to tell you, is that the people who say
Mhm.
that Israel is ISIS Rael, it's not correct. Really, I came across a website a long time ago, and it was like a
Uh-huh.
Moorish website, and that's where
Right.
I read that for the first time. But really, this is linguistic gymnastics or linguistic acrobatics. um
Right.
for example,
Because we know that Israel is a made up state. We know it's a made up word. So we and I
oh,
know
well,
that
well,
I
it's not
know
actually.
that they studied Egypt and all of that real well. And a lot of things they pulled, a lot of things they're doing now in society derives from them wanting to hide our knowledge and wanting to take our place, basically. Them wanting to be the ones to have that civilization, but at the same time still trying to destroy us so that we can never ever rise again to have that civilization again. You see what
Well,
I'm saying? So
we
Hitler even admitted that he got not the Nazi word. Nazi comes from the study of Egypt. The all of this, the original uh Aryans were back in that time. Um so a lot of the terminology, a lot of the understanding that the Europeans took, this is what they live off of now. So we see it again. That's all I'm saying. They just reproduce it and turn it into something else. They
well,
use it
well,
for what they can use it for to live, and so we think it is what they sell to us. We think it is we think Aryan means whiteness. We mean white supremacy. We think that it means that. It doesn't mean that. Like we think Nazism is a hate group, when back in the ancient time it was a whole different world from what they're selling to us, packaging,
well,
and
well, we have to be careful, because some
and
people might
that's
just
what I'm saying.
happen to come across the channel, and they were really, get the wrong idea. But I don't know where the word Nazi comes from, or Aryan,
Hmm.
but we were surely not
Hmm.
Aryans. The Aryans is probably the Indo-European ancestry. So Iran, Persia,
Well, the Europeans didn't come around until like about 7,000, 6,000 years ago
yeah,
because
yeah.
they've only
But
been here a short time. So Aryans was a group of black people
well,
and in
I,
ancient times. And
I don't.
Nazi,
But says who? Says who?
who says
Sa-
who?
Says who
When you
says that?
study, you can go back and you can see that it was an ancient group of people.
Mm. Well, you know, I'm all ears, but we should be able to
Yeah.
prove what we say. But
Okay.
the ISIS Israel is not something that you will find written anywhere actually. But
Hmm.
the name is not made up. Now, it's Yisrael. So at the end we have the
Right.
El, the Canaanite deity. So in Hebrew, Israel
Hmm.
is not made up, but it's definitely not ISIS Israel. For example, ISIS is the Greek for Aset. Some people pronounce it
Right.
Ast. So f- from the get-go, we don't even have ISIS. We have Aset,
Set.
and
Right.
so that would not even, if I stop there, I would not even make Israel. Besides, we don't really have the letter L in
Mhm.
the Middle Nature. We have the R initially, and later on, when the Greeks and the Roman came, then they used the lion for the sound L, but initially there's no L as we know it. So
Don't they get it from the Gnostic?
don't they get what?
What you saying? The L from
Oh well,
Gnostic.
I don't think they will get it from the Gnostics because the Gnostics is like, as I understand it, it's
Uh-huh.
some sort of sect or group. So I think this is probably like from the first century onwards, when the
Hmm.
Greeks and the Romans came. The Greeks came at around 400 BC with the Ptolemy dynasty. So that's way before. That's way before the
Right.
Gnostics. Now I would double
Okay.
check, because I'm not too familiar with the Gnostics. I hear them many times, but
Hmm.
Gnos- Gnostics.
Yeah.
Uh,
It was the first before Christianity, before any of them, basically.
so
Well, before
Gnostics.
any
Yes,
religions.
indeed, first century.
Came out
Yes,
of Kemet. It came out of
yeah.
Kemet.
Well, I
The high
wouldn't say that.
priest.
I wouldn't say that. Yes, indeed, it's like a Jewish and early Christian sects, but um I wouldn't say that the Gnostics derive from Kemet, because we're talking about first century here, and that's unlikely. But do you know somebody that says that claims that?
No.
So you made that up,
No, no,
or
I didn't
it's
make it
your?
up.
Mm,
No, I did hear someone say that. Yeah.
mm.
They
But
were teaching that.
mm,
And they said that the Gnostics were what came out of Kemet.
mm.
And but the
Well,
whole thing is, so I didn't make that up.
mm,
And that can be read in many things as
mm.
well.
but
Like so.
we have a lot of people indeed that make or
Hmm.
try to make correlation between Christianity
Hmm.
and Kemet, and there are some correlations. For example, the great hymn to Aten uh, is very similar to the
Hmm.
Psalm 104. But there's Claudia Barton who wrote that she thinks that you meant the symbol, the swastika. Now I've seen the
Yeah, the
swastika.
swastika.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've seen it
Yes. That's
on a
an
on.
ancient symbol.
Mm.
Yes.
Yes, it's very ancient.
As
It's very
well
ancient. It's
as
very
as
ancient.
well as well as a lot of these words as well.
Mm. It's
It
very.
comes from their study in Kemet in that time and studying us and studying all of the ancient stuff.
Mm,
That's where a lot of their culture is built off of.
mm,
But it's backwards. It's like kind of like that's why we have this kind of a demented sense of things around us when we learn from them.
mhm.
It's just like like all of this thinking that it's a hate group is demented to me. To take Nazism
Well,
and turn it into a hate group. It's
but
it's it's
that,
demented.
that's what it was. Now I don't know the origin
Right.
of Nazi, but you know, uh, maybe if they're talking about Aryans, they're talking about some people way before them. But the Nazi,
Right,
indeed,
way before
those are,
them. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, the Nazis. There's definitely those people, uh,
Right.
those people in the in Germany, that did what we know as
Right,
as
right.
the
But
Shoah.
the
So
thing about it that gets me is we need to really, really, really dig into deeply these things, because when it comes to like Russia,
mhm.
we know that Caucasians, all of them come from out of there, Caucasus Mountains, right? So now the place is Russia. Well, in that region, they can get us confused because when you think about the Jews that adopted adopted them, they
Judaism.
became adopted into Judaism. They came from Russia, out of that Caucasus Mountain, out of that region. But now, so now we're thinking that we don't know the different sects of them, right? We don't know the ones that are controlling things and the ones that are trying to have things uh are fighting against the ones that are trying to control everything. You know what I'm saying? There's two, they hide themselves so well, but they're still
Well,
Russians.
well,
And there's
the,
but they're out amongst the whole European and whole Asia, and they're all behind all of that. That's what I'm talking about. But
well,
so since we don't know how they infiltrate or how they are scattered out, like you were saying, German is nothing but Russians, and originally they're when they trace their ancestry back, any of the Europeans trace their ancestry back, it's going to go back to that region. But now it's like it's split. Like you got, they're still Russians, but it's two different types of Russians when
but
you really
if
think about it in the
mm,
world now.
yeah, I would just like to say we do have the people um who speak Yiddish, the
Right,
Khazars, descendants of Khazars.
right.
So
Mm-hmm.
those are the people from the Caucasus Mountain area or region. But
Yeah,
we did have some people in Canaan, who
right.
used to
Mm-hmm.
worship Baal, who used to worship
Mm-hmm.
El, and other deities as well. So
Right.
sometimes people feel like, okay, there's no ancestry in Canaan, that they feel like, the majority of or the people who went to that land that became Israel are
Mm-hmm.
from Europe, but it's not necessarily the case, but
But are you saying that Bell and L, is that bad?
Baal is Baal.
Yeah.
You
But are
know,
you
the
saying that is that because I know a lot of Hebrew want to say that that's bad.
well,
Uh-oh.
Hebrews will say that
Because they don't know this history. They don't dig deep into the history. They just assume things.
Hebrews, just like Muslims, they will say that everything besides their God is bad. When you talk about
Right.
deities, you see,
Right.
even though if we read their book, it says, "Let us make man." Now I don't know how it is in the Hebrew language, but we know that Elohim is the plural, so Elohim means the gods. And now
Right.
they say that it's a form of respect. I mean, they have a particular term that escapes me, but we have the General Hannibal. People say that he was black. I don't know why they say that, because he was from Carthage, which is Tunisia, and in North Africa, those
Right.
people have been white skinned for a very long time. But
Yeah.
Hannibal, at the end, we have the Baal. In English we pronounce it Hannibal. Well, but basically it's Baal at the end of his
So what
name.
does Hannibal mean? Can you
Um,
break
I,
it down, or
I had a look, but people can go. I don't really recommend. I mean,
because the name in itself should tell us whether he's black or white,
no, no,
Because
a name will not necessarily tell you if a person is black or white. It
but I tell
depends,
you
but
what, when I hear Hannibal, I hear, well, maybe it's because of the prejudice that they built into my brain, but kind of like Hannibal the cannibal, like I some evil
no,
dude,
that's
more
that's not that. That's
doing
not that.
some wicked stuff, because he did go around raping and conquering.
Well, I haven't heard about him raping. I've heard about him, fighting against Rome, but the Punic Wars and all that. But
And
here
then
on Greek,
again, a lot of the Romans were when we think about that region, that was part of Kemet too.
I'm, s-
Greece.
no, no, it
I
wasn't.
was saying,
No, no, it was not. It was not. It was not. Greece. No, no, it was not. Definitely not, sister.
mhm.
But we have Topkass, who ruled the original Aryans, are present-day Iranians. And indeed, I was mentioning Persia earlier. We have Anthony Harris in the place to be. And
Mhm.
now I don't know what Pat writes that the chemtrails is Baal. Baal is a deity, is a Canaanite deity. Well, not just Canaanite. Is probably Baal will be worshipped in other areas. Uh, but the Levant, it's a deity of the Levant. Um, them top caste wrote these religious folks have to go through so many mental gymnastics to be taken seriously. Pat says that Hannibal hated the Romans. He definitely fought against them. And yes, Claude Barton wrote Berber. Indeed, the Berbers, our people don't really know that because they love to claim Morocco, but North Africa or the Maghreb, is populated with white people, white skinned people. Now, of course, there's a few black people here and there, but the majority of the people of the sister's gone. The majority of the people of North Africa, they are they're white skin. So whoever claims, something with Morocco, you know. Uh Now, Bro Bone wrote, excuse me, no ma'am, did the sister say Roman Kemet were the same? She didn't say it was the same. She said something to the effect that uh, uh, Greece and Rome were part of Kemet, but I told her no, it wasn't the case. It wasn't the case. And I wanted to say French Montana. Well, yeah, French Montana is from Morocco. You see, exactly. You see the way French Montana looks. Now, I read that apparently he's mixed, that one parent is from Morocco and the other one is from Somalia. I don't know how accurate that is, but the way he looks, that's the way North Africans look for the most part. Even though I must say that you have some Moroccans who, particularly women, they look like black girls. Like some dudes also, they will look black, like some black people, but there's a few Moroccan women who look like black girls because their hair is not really the straight hair. It's like, but you have to see to really get what I'm saying. Um, Topcast wrote North Africa has been invaded by Middle Easterners since at least the Hyksos invasion. Well, probably the Hyksos were around the Delta, so that's north, so around Mediterranean, so Mediterranean Sea. So uh, maybe we would not know for sure, but the Berbers have been there for a long time. Those people speak Amazigh, but our people, our people, they like to talk that all black. They're dying out. Are you talking about the Berbers? I mean, please, make an effort. You know what I'm saying? Make an effort and let me know what you're talking about in the chat if you don't mind. Don't take it as a you know as a diss or anything like that. But our people are into that all black everything stuff. So they say, we're here, we're there. But you see, I wanted to tell the sister, and you're free to come back, sister, because it looks like we lost connection, or maybe you had to do something, you had to go. But sometimes we hear people say stuff, and we should try to verify it before we repeat it. Usually, when PhD say stuff, usually it's accurate because they study for a very long time. But everybody can make mistakes. Some people might not just make a mistake. He might not be a slip of the tongue. It might just be that some scholar thought that something was factual, and eventually later on we found out it was not factual. But on the internet, particularly when black people try to kick history, when they are Abrahamic, they will mainly talk religion and try to use religion and theology to come up with some genealogy and talk about ethnicity of different people. So we have to be very careful. You know, I mean, for example, I don't have anything against Booker T. Coleman, who goes by another name now, but he's on tape. He made a lecture about the Moors, and that lecture is available online. But he said that Saddam Hussein was an African man. So if you're asking that question today, I'm pretty confident that he will say, well, okay, uh, I was wrong saying that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it, it would be very difficult for anybody to maintain that stance that Saddam Hussein was an African man. You know, so when you hear someone say something, try to verify it. You know, and the beauty with Kemet is that we have the artifacts. So the majority of the story of Kemet is documented either by Kemetic writings or writings from people around the area of Kemet. Now, Bro Bon wrote the Assyrians first, right? Now, if you're talking about the invasion of Kemet, yes, it was the Assyrian first around 600 BC. Then the Greeks came in uh, around 400 BC, and the Romans came in around 50 BC, if I'm not mistaken. We have Georges Dabilot. That sounds very African, that name, that surname. He wrote, "Hi, what do you think about the red hair of Ramses?" Sorry, I'm French. Yeah, well, you see, I made a good guess there. Um, Before I answer, I will speak French a little bit. Ben, salut à toi, Georges. Si jamais tu connais des gens qui veulent apprendre les métiers militaires, je donne des cours depuis un moment. Donc, je donne des cours en français et en anglais. Donc, si tu connais, ben, tu peux leur dire de m'envoyer un mail. Il y a mon adresse mail dans la description de la vidéo. Parce qu'en fait, dans le milieu francophone des soi-disant kémites, on a les kémites transgenres, les kémites transsexuels qui vous disent qu'on peut être kémite et transsexuel. Et donc ça, c'est les panafricains en fait, les kémites panafricains. Et après, ben il y a les vrais kémites qui apprennent la culture, qui apprennent la langue et qui essayent de suivre la Mahat. Et selon la Mahat, et ben on n'est pas dans les trucs de transsexuels. Chacun son truc. Hein. C'est pas qu'on va pas dire que je suis homophobe, mais les gens ont le choix. Ok. Ceci étant dit, je vais passer en anglais. So now that I've said what I had to say in French, I don't know about the red hair of Ramesses. I don't know, but it doesn't make a difference to me. We have some people who have, red or reddish hair. Wasn't it the case for Malcolm X? No, not red or ginger. I don't know how you want to call it, but I'm not tripping on that. We have well, we don't have too many paintings of Ramesses II, but Amenhotep III. That's before Ramesses II. Now, Lightbearer said that she apologizes because her phone is dead. Yeah, I figured something, something like that. Oh, but she's back. Here it is. She's back.
Yeah, I'm on the computer now. I'm so sorry.
Okay, all right. Yeah, no problem, sister. Sister, we should all be careful of the things we claim, the things we say. And sometimes we hear people say stuff. And I was giving an example. I don't know if you're familiar with Booker T. Coleman. He goes by another name now, Kaba something. But he said, and that was a long time ago.
Okay.
He made a lecture about the Moors, and he said Saddam Hussein was an African man. And
Wow.
this is not the case at all. So sometimes people either make a mistake, or they might have a slip of the tongue, or they just say some stuff that they thought was factual at one point, but later on we come to find out that it's not. So and it's sad to say, but a lot of time when we have black people who are Abrahamic and they try to talk about history, their goal usually, because they are Abrahamic, is to try to put black people in the mix of this ancient population in Arabia, in Israel, and other parts of the Levant. For example, we have some Hebrew Israelites who say that the Sumerians were black, but we have depictions of the Sumerians, and I don't know if you ever seen the Standard of Ur, but I will show you.
Sumerians. So what?
I'm sorry.
What pictures are you talking about?
I'm going to show you actually.
Okay.
Actually, I will do this in real time, so everybody will know how to find it. Now, first I'm gonna share the screen. There it is. Okay. So it might be a bit small. Now, anybody can type in standard and then off and then or you are. Boom. And then you scroll down and you see here it says British Museum. And you click on it. Now this is the website. Okay, well, I would say allow cookie. There it is. This is the website of the British Museum, very famous museum. Okay, this is just a pop-up. This is the standard of OR. Now, as a matter of fact, you can make it larger with your trackpad, or you can click on the pictures at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But the standard of OR, there it is. We have the depiction. Is it large enough? Okay, I'll make it larger.
Okay.
There it is. Now, on the left, we have the museum number 121201. Title, the standard of OR. Description, the standard of OR decorated on four sides with I'm sorry for the noise. The standard of OR decorated on four sides with inlaid mosaic scenes made from shell, red limestone, and lapis lazuli set in bitumen. One side shows a war scene. A Sumerian army with wheeled wagons and infantry charges the enemy. Okay, so you can read the rest. You have view more. Okay, and then production date 2500 BC, 2500 BC. You see, so I will show different parts of this standard, but we can all look at their phenotype, and they clearly don't look like black people. So this is what the people in Ur, which is Chaldea, come from. Abraham is said to come from Chaldea. If Abraham existed, that was 2000 BC. So this shows that at least in 2500 BC, the people of the area where Abraham is said to come from were white skinned. So anybody that's talking that white Semite stuff, it's greatly unlikely. Now, I'm not basing my argument only on the standard of OR. I have that video called White Semites Black Awakening, and the link is in the description of this video and most of the videos. And I show different artifacts from the Levant, from Mesopotamia, Sumeria, Akkad, the Levant, Syria, Canaan, or Palestine. And I don't really know if I have one or two about Arabia, but I have some videos where I show depictions of Arabs.
Okay, so
People
you
from
said none of those people were Europeans?
No, I'm saying that the Sumerians, the Semites, basically, as we like to say, that they were not black. At
So you
least,
said the Arabics were Europeans?
no, I
Or-
won't say Europeans, but they
Oh,
were white skin.
they weren't white skinned.
No, they were white skin. They were not black. They were
The
like
Arabic,
the Arabs. Yes, the
the original
Arabs.
Arabs?
Come again?
You saying the original Arabs were black, were
Well,
white?
well, original is loose. Original might be 17,000 BC. It might be 5,000 BC. But what I would say is from the time of the standard of ore, 2500 BC, until nowadays, they were not black, they were white skinned. Because we have plenty of artifacts in different museums showing those populations. So we have, for example, the king of Lagash. We have Gudea, and what's the other guy's name? I forgot his son.
Well, Africa, tell me this, was Africa white people first? Or
No, black people.
so isn't Arabia Africa originally? It's part of
Well,
Africa.
once again,
I know when I lived in Bahrain, original people were covered up by the interest of these mulattoes and European people coming over, conquering, taking over. Because the original natives in Bahrain were dark skinned.
well, being dark skinned doesn't mean being black. And when I say black, I mean of African ancestry, because those region they're very very warm. So
Right.
white people go there, they will get a tan. I mean, someone who lives in France, if he goes to Spain or Italy for a couple of weeks, he will come back with a tan. So the people who live consistently in those region where it's like 40 degrees Celsius sometimes, obviously they will have a darker hue than someone from Norway or Sweden. You see, but if you say originally, was Arabia originally part of Africa? We have Pangea, but Pangea, that's like millions of years ago, where all the continents were together. Now,
Right.
as we know, Arabia, and from the time where Arabia was documented, we already had that separation of the tectonic plates. So as far as I'm concerned, Arabia is not part of Africa; it's part of
Well,
Asia.
yeah, it's not. Well, even parts of Asia was part of Africa.
Well, then again, you can say that if you're
Well,
talking
some
about
can argue that even America and Europe and all of these other countries were connected at one
the,
time to them.
the-
Because when we look at the core of, when we look at the continent of Africa, it's the core really of the whole, of all the continents broken apart. And because it's the strongest, it's the one that hasn't really broken up the way ours have, or have the issues that we have.
now you see, sister, when people say that all the continents were connected, they're talking about the landmass known as Pangea.
Right. That's what I'm
Yes, yeah,
saying.
but Pangea, that's millions of years ago. You know, so we don't have documentation on the ethnicity of different populations back then. You know,
But we can also look at the shapes of our countries and continents, and we can see and look at Africa and see how the puzzle pieces together. It's quite, obvious.
yes, yes, indeed, indeed. But at the time of Pangea, millions of years ago, there was no such thing as Canaanites. Abraham, Moses, all this Abrahamic belief system, Islam, Judaism, Christianity, none of this existed. Even Kemet did not exist at the time of Pangea. So that's why when I mentioned the standard of war, we do have a timeline, a time frame, 2500 BC. You see, because when we talk about the Abrahamic belief system, it starts with Abraham, and Abraham is said to come from Ur, from Chaldea. So
Mhm.
right from the get go, those population, they were white skin, they were not black at all. And
Right.
what we have done as a people for many years, we claim that the Semites were black. We claim that Moses was black. We we've
Well,
been
for one
claiming that
thing,
Jesus was.
we were called Semite back in those times, but uh,
Well, that's what that's yeah that's
it means
indeed.
African would be Semite because according to the definition, it means that people from the African continent region. So
No,
I
no,
don't
that's
know
not.
how to
No,
use
that's not the
it
that's
means linguistics, as another way of talking about semantics.
no, no. I disagree, sister, because like for example, we have the dearly departed Frances Cress Weston in her book, the ISIS paper. She says that Semites derive from Semi, which means half. So that she's arguing that the Jewish people are basically half black, but it's not the case. Semite doesn't come from Semi. We say semi in French, which indeed means half, but Semite derives from Shem. So
Right, that's what
uh,
I'm saying. It would be a person, anybody that derives from the continent of Africa.
no, not at all, not at all. A Shemite would be or Semite would be a descendant of Shem. Then we have the linguistic classification of Semitic languages. So this is going back to a eponymous ancestor, and it's really when talking about linguistic, it's about those languages from that particular area of the Levant and so on. So a Semite doesn't mean someone that comes from Africa.
Well, they said from that region.
Come
They,
again? Come again?
according to the definition, to be Semitic is people from
Well,
the.
okay, sister. Let's do this. Let's have a look on Etim Online. Etim Online. Or you know what? If they have an entry, and they surely will have an entry on Britannica, we can always have a look at Wikipedia. But I like to
I
avoid
can't get to it because
Wikipedia.
my
Now,
computer's not. I
now
can't really
I,
go.
I put Semite. Now I will share the screen and we'll have a look together because I could be wrong. So it's always good to double check, no matter who makes a claim. So this is Britannica Encyclopedia Britannica. So I think with all fairness, everybody would agree that this is reliable.
Yeah, there you go.
So Semite people,
That's the language I was talking about. It's just,
okay,
sometimes it's.
but
I learned at the university, Semantics can mean how you speaking, linguistically. It's something to do with language as well.
There is a there is a language family,
Okay.
so people talk about Semitic languages. Indeed, is correct.
Mhm.
Here the entry is about the people. You see, it says
Right.
people,
That's
Semite.
right.
So a Semite is a member of a people speaking any group of related
Mhm.
languages, presumably derived from a common language, Semitic. And they
Right.
say, see, Semitic languages, they have an entry for Semitic languages.
Mhm.
And it says the term can include Arabs, Akkadians, Canaanites, Hebrews, some Ethiopians, and Aramean tribes. Mesopotamia, the western coast of the Mediterranean, the Arabian Peninsula, and the Horn of Africa have all been proposed as possible sites for the prehistoric origin of Semitic speaking peoples, but no location has been definitively established. By 2500 BCE, Semitic speaking people had become widely dispersed throughout Western Asia. In Phoenicia, they became seafarers. In Mesopotamia, they blended with the civilization of Sumer. The Hebrews settled with other Semitic speaking people in Palestine. So that's it for the entry. So they did mention the Horn of Africa, indeed. Let me. I think what was it? Was it Ethiopia? And but this is we've heard that possible. They're not really sure where it derives from, and they said presumably derived from a common language because people like to talk about Proto-Semitic, which is not a language. Nobody speaks Proto-Semitic.
Mhm.
Semitic is not even a language anyway. Semitic is a language family. You
Right.
see,
Right.
so
Or it's a way of speaking because sometimes we use it in English and
well, it's a language of to be more precise, it's a language family. Like for example, you have Germanic languages. You have Latin languages. So some people can argue that English is a Germanic language or that it descends from Germanic language. I mean,
well,
you know,
English bastardized language that is descending from the original. This comes from one of the dialects in Africa as well as uh,
English.
Latin, French, and it's the
Well,
bastard
no,
language.
no,
It's
well,
it's mixed.
not
Yes,
not not
we're mixed over here. Our language is mixed over here.
no,
It's a
no,
bastardized
not
language.
Africa. It will not derive from any African language, but
Yes.
indeed, you do have a fair bit of French. Of course, you have a lot of words that derive from the Greek. Just like in the French language, you have many words that derive from the Greek. Some words that derive from Italian,
Mhm.
from Spanish. We have a fair bit of words that derive from the Arab.
All languages derive from out of the African um, dialects.
Well, I don't know if we can say that, but when it comes to the writing,
You
the
can't
the
really
met.
say the dialects today because we know that when the Europeans went into Africa, a lot of the languages, a lot of the way the people speaking now is due to the Europeans. It's not original. A lot of the things that they think is their own is not. It was given to them by the Europeans in Africa when they at the time when they were colonized. So that's awakening for a lot of them today to realize that a lot of their culture that was built for them was built by the Europeans that they're living today. That's why they have so much tribalism, which is tribalism too was built and set to have them fighting against each other while they're being robbed by the Europeans
Well,
overall.
the tribalism was not brought forth
And
by
it
the
still goes
Europeans.
on today, so that's evidence, and the Europeans still robbing them.
The,
So
the tribalism was there before the Europeans, started, enslaving us. Um, Maybe there were less differences or less opposition amongst different tribes because they will eventually attack some people and enslave some people.
no, what I mean, brother, let me be more specific because there's people that live amongst each other and they've
Mhm.
always lived amongst each other until the Europeans came into their area and now they divided them up and they are brothers. They're the same people, but they were split. so that people can work and get what they needed out of it. That's what I mean. I don't mean
And I agree with you. I agree with you.
far away, but I'm talking about the ones that live
Yeah, I
among
agree.
each other, and then
Indeed.
that's ridiculous when you look at it. It's
Yeah, but you know, they divide and conquer. They love to play
right.
on differences, you know.
Mhm.
And in America we have the same thing. Like the
Yeah,
Crips and the
yeah,
Bloods, it's
yeah,
like you could label that as two different tribes. I mean, it's not really the
exactly.
same, but just so that people can have an idea, because many people didn't go to Africa, so they don't really have an idea how deep the tribalism is. But it's a reality, you know.
Right.
Usually people will marry
Including
amongst
the
their
children.
own tribe. Exactly. So
Yeah.
they eat the same, they have the same language, they have the same customs, same way of getting married, the same traditions and rituals and so on, for burials, for marriage, for many different things. So rites of passage, you know, circumcision, and for those who practice the female genital mutilation, you know. So
That's just awful.
well, it is awful. Unfortunately, it is practiced in
Yeah.
many African countries, and and so yes, they played on differences. That's what they did. They took advantage of differences like that. But they're not the one who came up and brought forth this tribalism thing. All right. Well, sister, I'm going to see if other people want to get on the
All
panel.
right. Thank you so much for having me, and I
You're
love it.
welcome.
You gave me so much information.
You're
Keep
welcome.
bringing it out.
You're
And
welcome.
thank
Now,
you so much.
you're welcome. If you ever know some people who are interested in Medu Nature, then please tell
Okay.
them, you know, that I'm giving classes, so they can contact me on my email.
I'll share this on my channel. Okay.
Thank you.
And then
Thank
let
you so
them.
much.
Okay. Thank
Thank you so
you.
much, sir. All right. Take care,
Love you,
sister.
me.
Hotel. All right. So, brothers and sisters, you have the opportunity to get on the panel. I'm going to go through the comments that were left, and if there's nobody on the panel, then I guess, you know, we're gonna cut it a day. All right. Now, make sure that you hit that like button, brothers and sisters, and for those who haven't seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, I will share. Hold on. I'm having trouble. Okay, I will do the same thing again. Oh, so Kemet and Ma'at. There it is. And deception of Asiatic black men. I hope it will fit. Mass Black Awakening. Let's see if it fits. Okay, it was split into two messages, but you do have the video called Kemet and Ma'at. It has 400,000 views. I recommend that you watch this one, and then you have other videos as well, so feel free. Now, for those who are interested in Medu Nature, this is the email address, but you know, make sure you copy and paste it and email me and give me your availabilities. But I would like to do a class on a Saturday. Oh, we have Mohammed Hotep. Oh, brother, if you don't mind, can you show your face? I really want to have people show their face. You know, it's 2022. I've been live streaming regularly for 2 years, and so I'm not mad at you if you don't want to. You might have your reasons, but uh, brothers and sisters, I did not mention that, but I want people to show their face when they get on the panel. So um, let me go through the comments. But for those who wonder how to get on the panel, in the chat you have the message that is pinned, which means that it remains at the top. But this is what I call invite link. Now I've received a private message. I will see what it is. Oh, instead of doing, I did not paste it. Hold on. Invite link. There it is. So whoever wants to get on the panel now, private chat. Okay, well, he says he's sorry he doesn't have any webcam, but it's okay. Whenever you do. Now, people, brothers and sisters, you don't just need a webcam if you have a mobile phone, and I'm sure most of us have a smartphone. And when you have a smartphone, there is a camera, so people can just get on the live stream on a panel with the smartphone. It's best to use Chrome, though. It works better with Google Chrome, as a browser. So let me go through the comments. But I've shared the invite link if somebody wants to get on the panel. I received another private message. This is an old laptop. The sound hardly works too. Yeah, well, if you have a phone, feel free to use your phone. So, um, where do you see the black race 1,000 years from now? No idea at all. Um, Now, brother Josh died below wrote that he's been following me for a while and that he is a Christian. Uh, Private message. Well, I wanted to add my points as I like this type of discussion. No problem. You know, I will live stream all the time. So the only things that I don't really plan ahead because I'm giving classes several days of the week. So and I work full time as well. I'm not finance, so Uh, but brothers and sisters, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. And if you want, you can hit that notification bell. And by the way, while we're at it, if you don't mind, put some thumbs up to this video. Well, 18 thumbs up, that's more than usual, so it's a good look. Thank you for that, brothers and sisters. Um, and hence why the time slot of Saturday at 11 p.m. EST, New York time, I think it would be a good one because here there's quite some people. There's already 18 likes. Usually there's a lot less. So I think it will be convenient. So if you are interested, brothers and sisters, with this time slot, I want to have enough people, like 10 people or so, then send me the email and tell me, okay, Saturday works for me. If other days work for you, let me know. And if I have enough people for whatever day suits you, I'll let you know. When I have enough people for the Saturday, I will tell you, okay, it's on now. You just have to make the donation and we can start, this Saturday. I mean, at this point, it's not complicated. Yeah, Mohammed Hotep, nothing against you. He's asking me, are you telling me you won't let me on? I'm confused. Indeed, no. I prefer to have people on the panel that show their face. So if you use your smartphone, you'll be welcome to be on. I just need to see the face of whoever is calling in. So it's not just you. It's the way I do now. So okay, we had the troll that I blocked. Now, Mohammed Hotep wrote, okay, I don't understand it, but those are your rules. Good day, sir. Yeah, I mean, I have many reasons why I want to do that, but um, that's just the way, that's just the way. So, and I really lament the fact that we have plenty, and this is not directed at anybody in particular, but we have many people who talk about, the our people, the struggle, the liberation, and then being freedom fighters. But when it comes to showing their face, the majority cannot do that. And once again, we're not doing anything illegal. So it shouldn't be a problem for people to show their face. You know what I'm saying? So there's no. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. I prefer to do it like that. And usually, when people show their face, they be careful of what they say. Because you have some people who don't show their face, and they are basically trolling. Subtly. But anyway, um, so yeah, bro born wrote Kaba Kamene. That's how Booker T. Coleman is called now. Now, George W. wrote that maybe the white blood of Malcolm X can explain his red hair. I mean, are you of the opinion that Ramesses II was white? If that's the case, just go straight to the point. It's all good. Um, Claudia Barton wrote, India has dark skinned people too. I guess she meant to write completely different phenotype and described as two different people. Eunice Ford wrote, odd how these same rules don't apply to ancient Egypt. Now, it must have been something during the conversation, but I don't know what point exactly. Eunice Ford wrote, French is a Germanic language. French is a Latin language. Uh, Now, Georges Dabilo wrote that in French, many more Arabian words than French words. Well, I think that's what he tried to say. Then he mentioned Latin. Claudia Barton wrote tribes and clans and settled civilizations, all types. Uh, Brand Heat wrote they are red-headed Africans. And I guess Now the brother is thanking me regarding someone that you probably don't know, but he's someone who has been promoting the individuals that teach you that you are black people are cursed and black people are ugly, and that Africans are living a jungle life. But you know which organization I'm talking about, but that guy you don't know. He's been in France. He and other people received millions of dollars from foreign countries, but don't really dwell on that. Oh, bro, Bone he wants to come in. Well, feel free. You know, Claude Barton wrote shameful. It is shameful, but you can listen to yourself, brothers and sisters. This is what is accepted by the majority of black people, African-centered people, the so-called conscious community. They accept, not only this.
If you want to get off sensitive, come on, go ahead. About blacks, conquering blacks. Throw Maya in the trash can. Throw Alvin Rock, the slave making God away.
But our people also accept this, which is way worse.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair, because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you so busy frying it. That's why you so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black. But they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight. Yes, sir. Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion.
I'm back, brothers and sisters. Let me go through the comments. Now, Claudia Barton wrote, "Garbage is garbage out." No, I'm sorry, garbage in, garbage out. And she added, "He wants us to be from India." Lol, sadly, closet colorist. Brand Heat wrote, "Nobody listens. Fake con." Well, I would beg to differ. He's considered as the Black Pope in America. The athletes, the entertainers, the rappers, the singers, they accept these teachings. None of them are spoken out against those teachings. In America, really, I know two people who spoke out against his teachings, and they are John Henry Clark and Dr. Ben. Oh, Bro Boom, welcome, brother. How you doing?
Welcome, family.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Feel free to
All
speak.
right, I got like a delay somehow.
Okay.
I don't know if I can hold it down.
Sometimes there's a delay. Sometimes there's a delay of a few seconds, but we'll work with it.
Okay, am I good now?
Well, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, that's great. Oh, I see you put the elder there. Yeah, that definitely isn't one of his best moments.
Yeah, that's the least we can say. But at the end of the day, he put his own spin on it, but he was just talking about Elijah Muhammad's teaching, because we have that on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, actually, some people don't know, but Malcolm X spoke about that we didn't have kinky hair, because Elijah Muhammad taught him that, and Elijah Muhammad mentioned that in Message to the Black Man briefly.
Mm-hmm.
And he might have addressed it also in the Theology of Time, but he definitely, mentioned that in Message to the Black Man. And besides, we have a video of Elijah Muhammad being interviewed, and he stated that, I'm paraphrasing him, but that before we were more delicate, that our phenotype changed so that we can endure the life in the jungle. You've heard, if I can say that. Africa was the East Jungle of Africa. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Africa was the East Jungle, the jungles of East Asia. There it is. So,
Yeah.
But that's not all. I could give a very brief example, and I can show people how they can see that as well. Now, here, you can just type in AFROSTYLY. That's my website. And if you click on the second link, it's the English version. But at the end of the day, you have the address on the description of this video. Okay, and if you scroll down, it says Nation of Islam teaching of Elijah Muhammad, Louis Farrakhan, and Fard Muhammad. And here we'll make it larger. Hold on. Is it okay? So how does it look now? Yeah, good enough. So here we can see that in the Theology of Time, page 92, Elijah Muhammad wrote, he actually said that was a lecture, and they put it in writing. There's audio on YouTube for those.
Right.
So he says, "You will never be able to convert me, no, because you should first do like the preacher in the jungle of Africa and Australia and other far-off Pacific islands, preach to the savage to hide his nakedness. This is the first preaching we give to a savage, to cover your nakedness." Then he added later on, "We don't consider Africa's people of the jungles anything for us to follow or be taught by. If you're not civilized, you can't lead a civilized person." And on page 92 to 93, he wrote, or he said, "If you tell me to go to Africa, I will go there, but don't tell me to go there to be civilized. I'm already civilized, and I'm ready to civilize Africa." So that's just for the record,
I see you've done extensive research in making sure that that's understood. Let me make sure that I clearly understand you. You do not believe in that teaching, do you?
Absolutely not.
Oh yeah.
No.
That's embarrassing. And I mean, that's embarrassing. I know that a lot of us probably are embarrassed by that. What you just shared with us, I'm sure you had a lot of brothers who try to fight you from that, strictly from the embarrassment, not the truth or the validity of and the level of research and scholarship that you just showed right there. Some of that I didn't even know, and I've researched it for myself as a 5%er. You know, coming out of those teachings, and gaining some knowledge and wisdom and understanding of myself, and then seeing that vantage point right there, and I was like, oh, it just totally doesn't sit well. If just being a natural man without much study and scholarship, but after reviewing it all, one of the things that jumped out at me was in our lessons. It says, "Why does the devil, call us Africans?" And it says because our people who live in the jungles of that continent are savages and live the beast way of life. And that never sat well with me. And I have to recite those lessons and know those lessons verbatim. And so, but amongst us 5%ers, we say that particular one different.
Well, actually,
yeah,
actually, brother, sorry to interrupt you, but I don't think it says savages. I think it says they want us to believe that our people are savages. However, later on, he says our people stray from civilization and are living a jungle life. And this is, I'm glad you said that, because many times I mentioned that, okay, they teach that Africans are living a jungle life, that Africans are not civilized, and that's coming from those lessons indeed. And now, and you're correct, a lot of our people don't know about those teachings. A lot of NOR members don't know about those teachings. They mainly know Message to the Black Man, the theology of time, and our Savior has arrived. And as a matter of fact, the majority of the literature from Elijah Muhammad is not the Nation of Islam that prints it. It's MEMS Press, Messenger Elijah Muhammad Propagation Society, you see. But anyway, for the people to understand, have I shared it? Oh, let me put this here. It'll be easier for me if I put this here. So if I do that, if I go back now, still from the website that I showed, this is the same page that I showed, so if you scroll down, you have different teachings of Elijah Muhammad. And if you go to, you have Africa, what's called jungle, for example, and there, this is Elijah Muhammad in the book called The God Tribe of Shabazz, The True History. He wrote the continent of Africa at that time was called the jungles. So sometimes, people say, well, Farrakhan is out of his mind. Malcolm X never talked about this stuff. Malcolm X once again said, indeed, he repeated that teaching that he received from Elijah Muhammad, that we didn't have kinky hair. But the spin, Farrakhan, kind of, flew his own way. He put his own spin on it. But when he said that Africa was called the jungles of East Asia, he did not make that up. He made that up. He got that from Elijah Muhammad. Now, if we continue, we have Africans all living a jungle life, and we have the Lost from Muslim lesson number 1, or the 114. Now, the 5%ers, they have the same lessons as the Nation of Islam, but some words here and there change. You see?
Yeah, some words are changed, and the lessons, some actual lessons in numbers and in ranking are changed as well.
Changing, indeed.
But let me qualify myself right here. That I don't recite lessons or anything like that. Even you can see that by when I just gave you the one lesson, when I just shared that portion with you. I ain't shared exactly how it was. Matter of fact, you corrected me on that, and thank you for that too, brother. But
no problem at all.
Can I just ask you a question here?
Well, just hold that thought, please. Let me just read it for the people. So
okay.
The question number 6 to the 114, or the Lost Found Muslim lesson number 1: why does the devil call our people Africans? And the answer is to make our people in North America believe that the people on that continent are the only people they have and are all savage. He bought a trading post in the jungle of that continent. The original people live on this continent, and they are the ones who strayed away from civilization and are living a jungle life. So just so that people can understand, when I say that the Nation of Islam teach that the Africans are living a jungle life, I get that from their own teaching. And you see, it didn't say were living a jungle life or used to live a jungle life, but it says are living a jungle life. But go ahead, brother. What's your question, brother?
Well, now I got a statement from what you said right there. I think what has to be understood, and this has to be put in the proper context, brother. This is my first time on here with you, but I've seen you before. I've seen you before giving you a demonstration, and I liked it then, and I like it now. One of the things we got to put this in the context that when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad came with those teachings, it was at a different time, and the level of scholarship was different, and his level of scholarship definitely was different. I think for the time, I think that for the time, the teaching was good, and it was good to, kind of like separate us and help us grow, et cetera, et cetera. But to take that teaching, and tear it down bit by bit, brick by brick, brick by brick, I mean, you're gonna find a lot of holes in it. And you're going to find a lot of holes in the More Science Temple. You're going to find a lot of holes in any type of teaching that we have today that we developed for ourselves in order for us to have some knowledge of self. This is my thoughts and views. I would even go as far as to say exactly to what you have subscribed to maybe in your early learning, and whatnot. That if you was to go back to that, you could tear it down and fricassee it and all that type of stuff too, because these teachings, we have to be a mature people to be able to really go back and get our teachings and really bring them back to us refined and clean, and I don't think that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I definitely don't think that Honorable Elijah Muhammad was there. But he definitely did provide something that propelled us a little bit, and that your challenge is not that challenge right there that you're giving, and I never gave it to that degree, but that's how I felt as well. I was like, how the hell that doesn't sit right? That's not right, exact, et cetera, et cetera. But it really hurt, and I'm just going to somewhere else. But it really hurt even more to see Baba Clark go on Farrakhan about his speech at the Million Man March.
So that hurt you? What the
what I mean by it hurting me was that it just caused me a little discomforting. It caused me discomfort. I love my people, all of us. And I know it's gonna take all of us for us to get out of it. We ain't gonna go no one way. And whoever believe that don't know who they dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But all of us are not gonna go any one way unless, it's only one way to do that. And a lot of times, I mean, we haven't been up to the challenges that we've been met with. So I don't see how we're gonna do that anytime soon. If you understand, I'm just speaking kind of like I'm being frank, but I'm talking around it. But yeah, but what I wanted to say was those holes in the Nation of Islam, they showed in the leader when the leader was at the epitome of his power and his engagement with our people, he dropped the ball. You understand what I'm saying? And honestly, I believe that it comes from those rocky parts of that foundation that you're pointing out. You pointed out that you're not bringing it back to us in Kemet, et cetera, but we know Nuri and all of them, they will go back there. And I mean, I have yet to see Nuri teach that one, but he's gonna have to teach it, or I don't want to see what spin he put on it. But it don't be in them brothers' heart to teach that. Not him, not Khalid, or not none of them, but they will, because they love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad so much, and Farrakhan. I got a crying baby, brother. I gotta go grab the child.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem. But I understand what the brother was saying, and what I would say is that I don't think it would take all of us to get somewhere, because you never have an absolute consensus, just like in academia. And now the last thing I wanted to say is I don't think they would teach about Kemet. When it comes to Kemet, we've heard the PhD who said throw Kemet in the garbage can, throw Ma'at in the trash can, throw Amen Ra the slave, making God away. That's how they feel about it, because the Abrahamic, and they believe this Abrahamic literature that portrays the people of Kemet as evil people. You know, it's probably the worst people, and and it goes deeper than the Africans are living a jungle life business, because they teach that the only holy place on the planet Earth is Arabia, Mecca. So it makes people Arab centered, or Arabic centered, or Arabia centered. You see, um, so then you will hear statements like, you know, and Khalid Abdul Muhammad said it: Africa is not our home, it's our throne. You know, and besides those anti-black, anti-African teachings, you have the alliance with the Church of Scientology. I don't think anybody will argue, besides Nation of Islam members, that Dianetics is good for black people, knowing that Little Ron Hubbard was known to be racist. You know, so those are just a few of the examples. At the end of the day, whoever feels the Nation of Islam is the right way for them to go forward, then by all means, you know, do your thing. But I just don't agree with the lessons. You know, I don't agree with the lessons, and I have the right to as a human being. You see, and there's the Hanafi murders, you know. So there's the lessons and there's the behavior. There's what happened to Malcolm X. I know a lot of people have been rejoicing because two individuals were, what's the name again? Like it's another word, exonerated. But Farrakhan is on tape himself saying that members of the Nation of Islam um, played a part in the murder of Malcolm X. So are you going to tell me that Farrakhan didn't know what he was talking about? You know. So we have Zach Kondo who made some statements recently, and he basically said, you know, it's time for Farrakhan to come forward regarding the murder of Malcolm X. And then we have the number one zealot of the Nation of Islam, Wesley Muhammad, Dr. Bagdown, you know, who challenged me to a debate and ran like a coward he is. And I'm saying coward, I don't hate the guy, you know, I don't hate the guy at all. But he was a punk move, you know, for you to challenge someone publicly to a debate, and I accepted, and we spoke about it. We spoke about, you know, the time and all that, and then he backed down because I quoted some article that refuted him. You know, that's not the way scholars do. You know, he said, oh, he accused me. Oh, well, he didn't accuse me, but he the reproach was that I quoted white people. So apparently now you don't have to quote white people. You know what I'm saying? So
hey, brother, just real quick. Ahead, I was with what you just showed me, just on the fly here. Brother ain't gonna. He's definitely not gonna debate you, brother. Why would he do that? He's not. You thought you was gonna get that debate?
Well,
how could he debate you?
Yeah. I thought I was gonna get it because he issued the challenge publicly on Facebook, and then we spoke on the phone about it. You know, we spoke on the phone about it. So I really thought it was going to happen, but I think he realized when I with what I've put up, you know, I put a few things here and there, and when I quoted this article, he was like, "Oh, danger, danger." Yeah. Now the brother knows my game. He knows my linguistic gymnastics and linguistic acrobatics. And he realized, and honestly, it was the best move for him to do, because if we would have done the debate, I would have crushed him, you know. And I'm not saying that to brag, but he understood that he can peep game. So it's just a shame. It would have been better for him not to make the challenge, to issue the challenge in the first place.
But what was the topic going to be? I'm sorry if I missed it.
Well, I don't think we chose a title, but the main thing was, you know, the black Arabs, you know, Prophet Muhammad being black and the Arabs being black.
He can't win that one, man.
You know,
ain't no winning that. Ain't no winning that.
Well, he did good with that stuff. He went against Tahuti. Tahuti did not address the issue. Then he went against Ray Haggins. Ray Haggins was an embarrassment because Ray Haggins did not put any slide out at all. And then he went against Mukasa Africa, and Mukasa Africa did not address the issue of the black Arabs. He played a video that we see online about the book, the legacy of Arab Islam in Africa. But then he even played the video that I played earlier. But he did not really address the issue at hand. So but anyway, you know, that was just for the record. So yeah, like I was saying,
I mean, wouldn't destruction of black civilization be enough to dispel any type of argument?
No, no, you know why? Because Wesley made a lecture about that, and in this lecture, he basically went on to attempt to refute the destruction of black civilization. Now, there couldn't have been a debate because Chancellor Williams was gone already.
Right.
He challenged a debate. He issued a debate to Walter Williams. Walter Williams didn't step up to the plate. Actually, I don't even think Walter Williams ever debated anybody. And I'm talking about the author of the historical origin of Christianity and the historical origin of Islam. Walter Williams he is known for making claims that you don't really make much sense. But people like his book because he wrote a book saying Jesus never existed and Muhammad never existed. And many of our people, when we used to be in the Abrahamic belief system and we get out of it, then we like stuff like that. It comforts us.
Exactly. Yeah.
So since Walter Williams refused and Wesley Muhammad made a lecture basically refuting the book, and some parts were embarrassing, to say the least. So it was like he was on a trail of victory until he made the mistake of challenging me. But now he's really into the Dianetics, and milk is liquid sunlight. He's on tape saying that milk is the food of the gods and milk is liquid sunlight. So, but every now and then, if somebody says something about Farrakhan,
really?
Yeah, he said.
Oh, you had? Is that what you had on him? I mean, what is?
No, not at all.
What did you leak of your argument? What did you leak of your argument? I hope you be more sophisticated in the future because we need these. We need those type of interactions to go further. So in the future, when you got somebody like that, please, brother, don't do that because I would like to do it, but that ain't my fight. But
I don't understand. What are you suggesting that I should do?
Yeah, don't. If you got one ready to go, don't leak that. Don't leak some of that vital information.
I see what you mean. Yeah,
but, because then they back out. Then he back out because
but I just put out appetizers. I had the slide ready. I still have the slide to this day.
Right.
But for the people who wonder, I have that detailed article on my website. It's the same way I showed the people. Well, actually, the link is in the description. Okay. It says "Color of Prophet Muhammad according to Islamic sources." So I'm actually quoting some part of Wesley Muhammad's book. So
okay, that's good.
To make the long story short, in Arabic, "abiyad" is the word for white, the main word for white. Because of course, in many different languages, you have a main word for something, and you have other words that are like synonyms. And the main word for black is aswad or sawada. Sawada will be the feminine form of aswad, but basically, let's say aswad. Okay, it's the main word for black. Now, there is a lexicon, very famous Arabic lexicon called Lisan al-Arab, which means the language of the Arabs, and the author is Ibn Mandur. Now, Ibn Mandur wrote. They quote Ibn Mandur, who at one point say that when the Arabs use the word abiyad, they don't mean white, they mean noble, and so on, so and so on. Now, what people fail to understand is that indeed, when the Arabs will use the word abiyad, they don't mean someone that looks like a Roman, because a Roman, someone from Italy, would be much lighter than someone from Arabia. But that doesn't mean that the person will be black. So what he and other people have done, because the claim of Wesley Muhammad regarding the Arabs being black, he's not the one who came up with that claim. There's someone called, what's his name again, Tariq Berry, who maybe lives in Morocco, because I got his book and I think he says copyright. I think he was published in Morocco, but we don't really know much about him because he's anonymous and unidentified, But Tariq Berry wrote a book called The Unknown Arabs, and Wesley actually, mentioned that book, He complimented Tariq Berry. Later on, Tariq Berry ended up, refuting Wesley Muhammad on some point. They both share the sentiment that the Arabs were black. So basically, that word abiyad, that means white. Those people try to say that it actually means black. So in my article, I demonstrate why it's not the case, and I'm not the only one. And when I quoted these two guys, those two guys, they are fluent in Arabic. They speak Arabic way more, way better than Western Muhammad, and they destroyed his claims. They went very extensively through the hadith, and they destroyed him. So he saw the danger there, you know. So that's just to make the long story short, you know. And it's a shame because you see, for example, I know I've said that, but some people haven't heard it. There's a video called Allah in Nubia Temple of Ptah. It's still online. It was uploaded like 10 years ago or 12 years ago. And we have a guy during a Runoko Rashidi tour who says, "Oh, you know, this symbol here means Allah, Alif Lam Lam As." And everybody's like impressed. But this guy he chose one symbol that's very prevalent. It's a symbol that appears so often. If he was slick, he should have chose a symbol that comes rarely. So a lot of people bought that. Why? Because they're not familiar with the Medu Nature, you know. So I had to refute that, you know, about a decade ago. So with the Arabic, you know, most black people in America don't know the Arabic, you know. So
Right.
somebody comes and say, you know, Abyad, Aswad, they don't know what the guy's talking about, you know. And because he has a PhD, they presume, okay, he must make sense. But
Yeah.
people should think about this. Why, before Western Muhammad and Tariq Berry, other people did not mention those things? One of Elijah Muhammad's son studied in Al-Azhar, the most prestigious university in Cairo, and in Cairo, in Egypt. Arabic is the lingua franca. It's the language over there, you know. And you have many black people who used to be fluent with the Arabic. How come none of them brought that up? You know what I'm saying? So we have to be careful when people come with some very exclusive claim that nobody knew before. You know, you have to be wary about that, you know. And
Yeah.
feel free to ask. Feel free to ask. If you know an Arabic speaker, ask him, what does Abyad mean? And they will tell you it means white. Ask them, during the past, did it mean black? And now it has changed and it means white. It's very simple, but our people don't do that. Our people just hear something and they just repeat it. And it's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame.
It's a
That
shame.
argument right there, whether or not the Arabs are white or black in early Islamic history and whatnot, I thought it was very, very obvious just by all you got to do is kind of like follow the notable history. I mean, of who is in power. And if you follow the power, you know who. I feel like if you follow, it ain't what I feel. It's always been that way. If you follow the power, then you know who was who and what was what. You know what I mean?
Well, you know,
And I always figured it always had to be the Pale Arabs because the Pale Arabs were always the ones who, when there was something to gain, they were always coming to gain it, and that's just following the power.
but you know, the thing.
Speaking right now, get him.
Mm.
Excuse me.
No problem. I know what it is. You know, I have a 2-year-old daughter. And I
Yeah,
have
that's my 2-year-old right there.
there you go. You know, I thought she was smaller. You know, but
Oh yeah, this not this one here, but
okay.
hey, but yeah, brother, because all right, I don't know why they would argue that. One of the things that bothers me the most is that when you know our history and you know our story, you know that the whole east coast of Africa was was taken over at some time by Islamic countries, et cetera, damn near. Or that there was raids going on. Then you talk about the north coast of the continent, and whenever there was something to gain, there was always the Pale Arabs there in order to reap the benefits of it. They held the strings of the faith. I feel like that's so obvious. I don't understand how we really can have a conversation about who was the Arabs of that time. And then when we talk about Tariq and the family going up into Europe, when they established everything up there, who came to take the power from them? You see what I'm saying? Do you understand where I'm coming from with that?
I do, brother. I was actually looking for a quote to show
Oh yeah, you working. Okay.
yeah, but it's a shame I don't see that quote. Uh, but actually, okay, it might be here. If it's not there, I'll have it on video. But so that the people can understand how serious it is. The denial.
Mhm.
It's not there. I will look for the video and I can share it with the people. But to answer you, you have the pair Arabs, but the problem is that those people they claim that um, first it was black Arabs and then some white people invaded, and and then they mixed with the black ones and ultimately they became white. It's the same sad story. So um, I really want to show that to the people. Um,
I just think in some respects, one of our tools to use in dissecting history is human nature as well, and how human beings interact. And it seems like a lot of times that's not taken into account, and it's one of the things I might take it too much into account, so that I don't do as much research in the other areas whenever I gotta prove a point or whatnot. But
I mean,
we take the human element out of it a lot of times.
But I've found the quote, so let me just share it if you don't mind. Now,
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh no, it's not the video. It's the other one. So let me share that screen. There it is. Now the video. Well, I will share the link anyway. The video is called "Slavery Approved by Wesley Muhammad." So I will first put it in the chat, and then
y'all been beefing. Y'all been beefing. Okay, all right. Wesley Muhammad, ain't that True Islam?
He used to be called True Islam. It's him.
Yeah,
the one who wrote that book called what's the name again? The Book of God. And
yeah, I've never read any of it. His scholarship never caught me. It just you don't go in enough for me.
Now here, there it is. Now in his own book called Black Arabia, page 217, he wrote that the Ba'ath Agreement was both a non-aggression pact and a trade agreement between Muslim Egypt and Nubia, terms which were determined by the victors, Nubia. 360 slaves annually sent by Nubia to Egypt. The last stipulation has been the focus of some criticism and misrepresentation in some Christian and Afrocentrist circles. This part of the agreement is often described as tribute imposed on the hapless Nubians by the lustful Muslim slavers. But this interpretation completely fails to take proper notice of a simple fact. Now, you cannot see the bottom, but I've shared the link. So, a simple fact. The Nubians were the victors and therefore had the leverage. So, we have someone who went to school and allegedly or apparently earned the highest degree of the academic field, which is the PhD.
Come on.
And on his own book, he said that Nubia were the victors and they had the leverage. So they determined the terms of the Ba'ath Agreement. And what were the terms of the Ba'ath Agreement? That Nubia would have to send 360 slaves to Muslim Egypt every year. I mean, if it's not insanity, it's just straight up denial at its lowest point. How are you going to have a war with another country and you are the victor, you have the leverage, and you say, okay, I'm going to send 360 slaves to you every year? It just doesn't make sense at all. So even when we have a document that is known historically, even though we might not have the original one, but it was mentioned, and it states that Nubia, that's Sudan, by the way, they had to send 360 slaves to Muslim Egypt, he's trying to come up with some excuses. Just like when we have Gaddafi, who made those statements and labeled Africans are savages, barbarians, and and many negative terms. I've addressed that. I've read the quote. I saw
I've never
Wesley.
seen that one. I like to see
well,
that.
that's a problem with our people. We but
It
okay.
doesn't surprise me at all, though. I believe all. It doesn't surprise me at all, though.
I will look for it so people know for the record. Now, Gaddafi,
Mhm.
Africans, barbarians.
Yeah, because anybody on the fence about this conversation right here, they would need to know that, because Gaddafi very much is tied to Farrakhan back in the day and whatnot, and that
Now listen, I'm going to share this in the chat. So BBC News, you can say that's reliable, now Gaddafi labels Africans as ignorant. It says worst, but I'm sharing the link, so even after the live stream, people will be able to see it. Now I'm going to share the article.
Okay.
So that's the article here. It is dated August 31st, 2010. Gaddafi wants European Union cash to stop African migrants. And here is with Berlusconi, who used to be the prime minister or head of the government of Italy. So, Libyan leader Colonel Muammar Gaddafi says the European Union should pay Libya at least 5 billion euros a year to stop illegal African immigration and avoid a black Europe. Speaking on a visit to Italy, Colonel Gaddafi said Europe could turn into Africa, as there are millions of Africans who want to come in. Italy has drawn criticism for handing over to Libya migrants it intercepts at sea without screening them first. Far fewer now reach Italy from Libya. European Commission figures shows that in 2009, the number of people caught trying to enter Italy illegally fell to 7,300 from 32,000 in 2008. The data was collected under the EU's Eurodac fingerprinting system. Colonel Gaddafi has forged close ties with Italy since a friendship treaty was signed 2 years ago. It sought to draw a line on the historic bitterness between Libya and Italy, its former colonial master. Tomorrow, Europe might no longer be European and even black, as there are millions who want to come in, said Colonel Gaddafi, quoted by the AFP news agency. He was speaking at the ceremony in Rome late on Monday, standing next to Italy's Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi. We don't know what will happen, what will be the reaction of the white and Christian Europeans faced with this influx of starving and ignorant Africans, Colonel Gaddafi said. We don't know if Europe will remain an advanced and united continent or if it will be destroyed, as happened with the barbarian invasions. So I will leave it there. Everybody's free to read the rest of the article.
Yeah.
It's very clear. Now, I saw a lecture. I didn't watch in full because it's difficult to listen to these dudes, but I was lucky to come across the part where Wessam Mohammed was defending those statements from Gaddafi, talking about, you guys don't understand, it's a strategic move and blah 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 blah. Because
I mean, I could defend them too. But you know, especially somebody as crafty as you are, I wouldn't though, brother. So don't laugh at that, don't bite at that. But especially somebody who can do research as well as you and think as well as you do, I'm sure there's some things you could make sense out of too if you chose to, or try and make some sense out of them.
So what sense do you make? What sense do you make out of it then?
I'm not talking about that right there. I'm just speaking in general. Especially somebody in Wesley Muhammad's position of always having, rolling with Farrakhan, and therefore you have to roll with Gaddafi as well. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but just for the record, I understand what you mean. Just for the record, now, some people don't know. Maybe you know that. Are you aware of the millions of dollars that Gaddafi gave to Elijah Muhammad?
Not Elijah Muhammad, but to Farrakhan. Because it's been said that Gaddafi gave money to the Nation of Islam during Farrakhan, but I don't know about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's time.
Well,
no.
it's in Muhammad Speaks. It's $3 million, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Muhammad Speaks. He says that.
I've heard about it, but I don't know about that.
Well, it's their own newspaper, you know, and it's Elijah Muhammad who said, you know, we thank our Libyan brothers for the loan of $3 million. And some people will say, hold on, brother, it's a loan, but I never heard that he paid the money back. So that was in the 70s, you know. So with the inflation, it must have been a lot more than $3 million today. And we have Khalid Abdul Muhammad stating on tape, and he was actually going at Farrakhan, and he said that he got $5 million from Gaddafi, you know. And then Gaddafi vowed to give like a very large amount of money. I don't know if it was $1 billion or more to Farrakhan, but the U.S. government was not having it. They were like, you know, we aren't going to have that. You know, you're not going to get that money like that. So I don't know if that happened officially, maybe behind the scenes, but that I don't know. But for the record, the Nation of Islam received millions of dollars from Gaddafi. So it's understandable that the NOR would defend Gaddafi. But when Wesley was defending Gaddafi, it was not about, he wanted to, you know, back up the money with gold. He wanted to make up an African money. That's why they killed him. I'm not talking about that, you know. I'm talking about those statements, you know. Wesley Muhammad found a way to make excuses for that statement. But if a white Jew would have made those statements, all hell would have broken loose, you know. So they are biased because they share the same religion, and besides, they receive money from him, you know. So we cannot accept statements like that, you know, being labeled barbarous. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, that's certainly biased, man. It's one person who I respect more. It's one person that I can respect and follow better than many, and that's John Henrik Clarke. And when he spoke on all that what you're speaking of, and he said that he spoke of Minister Farrakhan. These are not my words; these are his. He spoke of Minister Farrakhan and his Nation of Islam, just being the lapdogs of those Arabs over there, and that they work for them, and that Farrakhan is a faker. I'm sure you've seen the video and whatnot. And I think coming from, well, in fact, I know, coming from that noble and esteemed being, after that we gotta look at everything through we gotta look at everything through a certain lens now. And before, a lot of us just go with the brother, you know, and go with the brothers. But I see you haven't, and you found out you've unhashed a whole lot of things. And yeah, I'm with you. The teaching isn't consistent. The teaching isn't consistent with what we need. And Baba Clarke said one thing that we should all note on is that, wait a minute, is that anything, no matter if a person practices Christianity, Islam, or whatever you practice, as long as it's African and we use it towards our liberation, then it can be something that we can work with.
Yeah, he said something like that. I heard him say
something like that. Everything I'm saying is a paraphrase.
Yeah.
I'm not saying nothing exact.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm not pushing. Just let me hear me out here. I'm not pushing that point, but I'm going to the Nation of Islam and saying that it is not a school of thought that sees our people as Africans, and it's not a school of thought that sees our people as Africans. This is not a school of thought that recognizes Kemet in our teachings and our scholarship centered around Kemet and all the scholarship that Dr. Ben has done, and Dr. Clarke, Ivan Van Sertima, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm just here to say today that any school of thought that can't integrate these things or can't utilize them, it's not going to be a school of thought that's going to be for the betterment of our people, because otherwise it's going to hold on to a whole lot of those westernized, you can say Eurocentric, a lot of those different ideals that keep us where we're at, which is for the most part slaves all over this planet. And that's something that I really want to come on here and ask you a question about when I get an opportunity. I got one question for you before you go. Please give me the opportunity to ask.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Oh,
actually, hold on. Before you ask a question, now, Eunice Ford wrote, I get the feeling that the host only speaks with people who agree with his angles. Now, just to prove that it's not the case, if anybody disagrees with me, whether it's Wesley Muhammad, Farrakhan Mokor, but any members of the Nation of Islam, any members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, any members of the Hebrew Israelites, any Black Christians, any people who claim to be Kemetic that don't agree with me, Orthodox Muslim, white, black, and no matter what, they can call in. I don't screen the calls. When people call, I don't know what they're gonna say, And
no, he just let me in, family. Yeah. He didn't know who I was. He just let me in.
As long as they show their face, it's cool. But there's many cases where I've spoke with people who don't agree with me, So anybody who wants to call in, even if they don't agree with me, what I'm saying, they can call. It's all good. And you're free to call in also, So go ahead, brother, with your question.
Yeah, and first of all, whoever's saying that, I don't necessarily agree with the brother either and everything. I know I don't. I don't even know what I don't agree with you with. But I bet you if we talk for a while, we're going to come to some disagreements without a doubt. All of us do. So anyway, I just want to share. I want to share this vantage point that I've been working from. Okay, personally, what's been bothering me the most is that we as a people, I'm talking about African Americans. I don't know where you're at. I heard you speaking in French. I hear an accent, huh?
Yeah. I'm in France currently.
Okay. Well, over here, us African Americans over here, we got a new justice coming on, possibly all these different things that's going on. But one day, I personally woke up, and I know our history, I know our heritage, etc., etc. But I woke up realizing that I was a slave, and waking up one day realizing that you're a slave, and you're a grown man who feel like you'll fight and battle with anybody about you and yours. It kind of hit me real hard, and after that realization, it was hard for me to do anything but either express it or to medicate myself. So anyway, I did a little bit of it both, but now I'm at the point of just expressing that. So anyway, I talked to my mother about this and said that, Mom, I had an awakening that we are slaves. You know how it's some of us that say, man, I couldn't have lived back then because I would have. Well, I woke up and realized that we in it right now. Do you get me? So anyway, I asked my mother about it, and I told my mother I had awakened and realized that we are slaves. And she said, who told you any different? This is my mother. So the work that I've been doing here of late is that I've been seeking for, it's your mother. I've been working at those of us here, African Americans, honestly saying, it's enough of us and a group of us and a large contingent of us who want to go back to Africa, who are going back anyway. But when we get there, the family's cool, the family good and whatnot, but we still aren't free. We're foreigners to an extent, and we're still looked at as Westerners for the most part. And we can't find no peace here because we're still being oppressed here as far as the racist, systemic racism, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody knows our story. Everybody knows that over here, I don't know how it is. I would love to talk to you off camera sometime too, because I kind of want to know how it is over there a little bit better. But I know over here, we call ourselves niggas. we call ourselves, and we totally identify with the mindset that we've developed over here to an extent. Call ourselves niggas. You see it in our music, whether it was propagated or not. It's what speaks to us. You see it in our music. We have all the wealth that we have, or no, let me not say wealth. All the access to money that we have is over $1 trillion. You know the whole story, but I gotta lay it out like this. And yet we don't have one community that we wholly own in all of this nation. So I'm saying that we're ailing, and we're a herd people, and that, but we are people who has, you know, elders across this country. And I never really thought of it in other countries, but we have elders in this country. We have ancestors that we look to, that those elders come up under, and we have the young men and women who come up under them. So much is so that while African Americans or Africans over here are getting their Supreme Court justice, those of us who want to get out of this situation should be finding a place in Africa that we can govern ourselves in. Well, the question I wanted to ask you was, what do you think of Africans, the African Americans governing themselves in Africa, and the feasibility of finding lands and getting lands annexed, et cetera, and whatnot? What do you think of the feasibility of that? And would you be willing to help make something like that happen?
Well, that is one of my plans. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for the donation. Actually, I almost forgot, but there's a sister, Susan, who came in before, if I'm not mistaken. I received your donation on PayPal, so I appreciate that. And thank you, Major Commander, for that super chat. So for those who don't know, people can make a donation also directly on YouTube. It's called the super chat or super sticker. So it is one of my plans, actually. And there's an African American brother. He's a PhD now, Dr. Combo, and he's a linguist. He got his PhD in linguistics, and he's been living there, with his family. And they have like a small community. He speaks Twi, the language of Ghana. Ghana at one point used to give land to people of African descent, but to live there. Now I don't think they give land anymore, but I think they give citizenship. So I actually spoke about someone from Ghana that I know, and and he confirmed that indeed they will give you the citizenship. So this is something feasible. It's something possible. And in the long term, indeed, we kind of lose when we live in a place when we are not really treated like full citizens. So we contribute to their economy, but in the long term, you can just be driving and get shot by the police, and that's the end of your story. And
Brother Mahad, I'm speaking of us governing ourselves, because the government of Ghana, and I'm really in this conversation. I mean, you're included, because you come up on you are up under, and the brothers over there in the diaspora, wherever we are, who all come up under these, basically in the foremost are these same teachings, these same understandings that's been giving us our true relationship with the world. What I'm talking about, us governing ourselves. Now, there's been everybody knows of the sick and ailing slaves from the so-called slave trade that is still here, still present. All right, still fighting for rights, still doing, et cetera, et cetera. Why is it that our freedom is never getting to the point of us governing ourselves in Africa, and we having a state in Africa now for those who left, those who was dragged away?
You
because
know,
we're truly sophisticated enough to govern ourselves now.
yeah. But the thing, you see, there's a war going on between Russia and Ukraine, and it was over very small territory. Russia is already the largest country in the world in terms of size.
Indeed.
There's no other country in the world that's larger. And even though it's the largest country in the world, they went to war over a very, very small territory, or maybe two territory. So in French we call it one Crimea and the other one Dombal. So I don't know how it's pronounced in English. So we have to be realistic because it sounds like a utopia. You know, Elijah Muhammad asked for a piece of land in America, and there's some legitimacy. Okay, we worked for so long. Give us a land where we can live. America would not do that.
No,
I don't think there's hold on. I don't think there's any country that would say, okay, here you go, you have your land and you govern yourself. You know what I'm saying? If we consider the people of Africa our people, you know, Dr. Gumbo is living there. You know what I'm saying? Now to govern yourself, we can go there and just live there. You know what I'm saying? And participate in the society. In some places in New York, I was told you have Jewish people who have their own. I don't want to say police, but yeah, you see, they have their patrol and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So in a way, it's as if they're governing themselves, but they are not owners of the land. You know what I'm saying? So we should not feel any kind of way like, oh, Africa don't want to give us a land. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to give anybody some
no,
land.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah. So
I'm not saying,
okay. So in other words, if there's enough of us who move anywhere on the continent or anywhere on the planet Earth, we can indeed govern ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but this is the problem with that, and I'm gonna let you go on this. Is that the problem with that is if we all go somewhere, all right, then we're gonna look like colonizers. My plan won't. My plan. I mean, that's how it's gonna be taken because we're gonna be aggressive and trying to make things and trying to grow and be more.
But brother, we will not all go there. Some of us will stay in America. Some of us will stay in Europe.
Oh no, I'm just talking about a group of us. Well, let me say this, brother, without interruption.
If you don't mind, and I'm sorry because I'm interrupting you. There's those African American brothers who went to Israel. Now they have problems because Israel want to keep them out, but they went to Israel, in a country where they face a lot of discrimination. They build their community and they are living there. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, brother.
I'm hearing they have some new problems now in Desdemona, right?
Yeah, but that's recent because they've been here. They've been there for like 40 years or something.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that I'm just looking. What I would look for, what I'm going to look for, when I'm going over there to look for, is a space where it's not even inhabited, bro. Where nobody. I want the family to help us find a place that's not inhabited. It could be like the desert, like Las Vegas here. As long as we can get to it, we'll build something there.
That's possible, but you just need to be able to have a group willing to buy the land. You know what I'm saying? But let's not have any utopia. Even if we buy the land in any country in Africa, we will still be somehow, somewhere bound to the law of that country. You know what I'm saying? That's inevitable. But if you live as a community, it's okay. You can do your thing because the reality is that there's several places in Africa. There are villages, and there's a king in the village. And a lot of times the king has more authority than the actual president of the country. You know, sometimes there are laws. For example, earlier we talked about the circumcision, female circumcision. There are countries where it's against the law, but it's still being practiced by the people. And if you go to the authorities, like, hey, they want to do that to me, or they want to do that to my daughter, the police will not do anything. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a usual practice. So this is just an analogy to say, if people want to go in a country in Africa and live there, it is possible. But then when we say, okay, govern ourselves, this is subjective. What do you mean exactly? How far would that go? And that's what I'm saying from the get-go.
That would go to creating a whole another country, brother. That's what I'm talking about, creating a whole another country.
That would not happen. That would not happen.
It can be a city-state. It don't matter.
Well,
it just
okay.
No,
but check this out. Check this out.
Okay.
Let's presume you are the president of an African country, no matter which one it is.
I wouldn't be the president. I wouldn't be.
No, hold on.
No, I'm not talking about Yeah, I
No,
wouldn't be
no, but
president, but go ahead.
hold on. It's just
Yeah,
for the
I'm
sake
not
of
learned
example.
enough or anything.
But
Yeah.
just for the sake. Okay, well, okay.
Okay.
Let's do this example like this. Let's presume I'm the president of an African country.
Yeah, because I understand politics though. So go ahead.
Yeah, but my point is just about the argument we're having. So let's presume I'm the president of an African country, and then some brothers from America want to come in and get a territory and make a different country. I will not allow that. That would be me giving some part of my territory for other people. Nobody wants to do that. You know what I'm saying? This is not even an issue. If we live in a place as a community and we grow, just like the people managed to do in Israel, where they faced.
I don't know about that. So you're saying that that there's no country in all in all of Africa that be willing to give a sliver of themselves over to their returning brothers and sisters who was the slaves or whatever, so that they can have a place and a sovereign entity for themselves. You may very well be right. As far as the money is concerned, we probably work that out on a reparation scale or something like that. But you probably would be right. But one thing for sure and two for certain is that ain't none of us gonna be free on this planet. We definitely ain't coming off the bottom until we deal with what's going on with us over here. I mean, I think we're the largest contingents of slaves on the planet, right? Right. I don't know. How do y'all feel over there? Just real quickly, how you guys feel in France? Over there, are you like a France African? How would y'all say it? We're the only ones who identify with Africa that I know of. Are you like a France? Like you born there? You came there? How did you come there? How did your family come about?
I was born in France. My parents are from Haiti.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Well, you got a different bloodline activating off working with you, brother. But do the brothers over there do they feel like they are slaves? Do our brothers and sisters over there feel as if they're being if they are still being oppressed or held down or unable to be to have any power over themselves and their identities?
That's a part of the population. If you talk about Will Smith, Puff Daddy, Jay-Z, they are not enslaved, they are not oppressed, they have a huge power. But you can feel a certain way, but what can we do about it? That's the big question. The majority of black people in France, they look up to whatever happens in America. Whether it's good or bad, they follow. And it's not just in France, around the world, really. A lot of fashion, a lot of trend come out of America. So they try to emulate. The N word you talked about in the songs. In France, the rappers do the same, So they ultimately will use the N word more than brother, So there's a lot of negativity that comes out of these rap songs that it's becoming the same here. Now in France it's less sexual, but it's becoming more and more sexual. So they just look up to what's going on in America. And other than that, the black people in France, they come from former colonized country like Mali, Senegal, and all that. You know what I'm saying? And the people who are colonized by England, then those are you will find in England. They will be like from Jamaica, different Caribbean countries, and Nigeria, Ghana, and basically African countries where they speak English.
Yeah. So I get it. So yeah, I get that.
So it's kind of the same.
The family that's over there came from one of the colonies and came to the countries there. It's different from over here, and that's what I'm trying to tell you why it's different and why we feel different. I'm just speaking what we feel. Damn near every person in my, and I got over 500 people in my phone. Damn near every person feel the same way that I feel. And they don't really know that they feel about it until I say, hey, what about this? This is how it happened to me. This is how I feel. And they're like, yeah, man, it's true.
So
once again, we all feel this way.
But once again, Dr. Combo, I'm pretty sure he has some family left in America, and he faced some injustice with the police, and he vowed to not live in America, and he did that. He moved to Ghana and he's living there. So I think people can contact him. He has a website, and ask him question, how did you go about it? You know what I'm saying? Maybe people should try to go and visit over there. But just for the record, here we have Eunice Ford, who, I don't know what you have, what the problem you have, what problem you have with me. But now, first you said that you have a feeling that only a lot of people who agree with me, and I said that was probably 20 minutes ago, that anybody can come. You can come too, but you don't come here on the panel. Now Eunice Ford wrote, what makes this man think that we can go to Africa and set up a government of his own in someone else's land? Now I okay, well, maybe he actually was talking about you. I think he was talking about you, actually. I thought Eunice was talking about me, and I was going to say, how do you know?
Talking about me.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you know I didn't go? How do you know I didn't go to Africa? But
my family and I are on our way to Africa. Just to answer her question, my family and I are on our way to Africa, and I don't think I'm just going to make up no government of my own. I'm not speaking for myself. I just want to be free. I want the people who know what to do to come on in and make it happen. I'm not the one to make it happen, but I am the one to stand up and say that this is how we feel. That's where I come in. And furthermore, you see, hold on, just for Eunice, you see the brother don't agree with me anyway. So he don't just have people on agree, but he's letting me say and air out all of what I have to say. Please give this brother his respect, because he's being very respectful.
But I mean, opposition is inevitable. There will always be opposition. Just for example, if you're Kemetic, you have people who dislike you just because you're Kemetic. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that there's the BAIO, Black African Infrastructure Organization, and I know Brother Holy, he's been dealing with that for a good 10 years. So one of their plan is, to be autonomous, and ultimately deal with the motherland, so feel free to contact them as well. But, I'm the kind of person who don't really like saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'd rather do it and say I did it. So I did say that it was one of my plans, but I don't want to, talk too much. Right. But eventually, sometime, if everything goes well, because many people say that. So, and I don't want things to sound cliche, but sometimes people might find out, well, actually, I'm no longer in Europe. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's really a shame, because if I had the proper support, I could have made that happen a long time ago. I mean, there's so many things we can do, but the thing
you could have made what happen, brother? To be clear.
Well, I don't want to say too much, but
okay, I get it.
I want to help. I want to help to be a bridge, because you cannot say too much, because just you being Kemetic, you being non-Abrahamic, you get many people attacking you. I've lost channel with thousands of subscribers, have people doing slender videos against me and my family, and those are people, members of the conscious community. You know what I'm saying? And I could say their names, but I don't want to say their names. So some people have followed that. Years ago they were witness to what was going on. So, but there will be them, and there will be other people, the powers that be, that might not really see in a good eye that, okay, Black people are leaving the West now and want to move to Africa. They'll rather have the manpower in their country, so they might, do some stuff to try to stop me in my effort. But it's not something impossible. That's why I gave the example of Dr. Kambon, and he's not the only one. The other people, went and relocated to the motherland. You know what I'm saying? Kwame Ture, Stokely Kamikao, he moved out over there as well. But so, I mean,
he did move, but I never seen the movement for us to come back. See, this is
but hold on, wait, brother. I would like to say this. I understand what you're saying, but if anybody wants to go to Africa, he can go. Don't people should not expect, okay, here's this thing, you follow me, you go this way. Come on, this is something that people can do. And I suggest people go on holiday to a country that they like and see how it is, and then maybe try to spend longer, and then eventually see, okay, I can live there, I can see myself being there. But if people just wait for an effort, like, come in and come back, I'm saying, even Israel, they don't do that. There's an exception. They went to get some people from Ethiopia, and they got the plane to bring them here. But the people to when they go and leave in Israel, citizens, they move there. You know what I'm saying? So
I didn't mean it that way. I'm talking about in the context of our liberation struggle or whatnot. I'm coming from a very universal vantage point. I'm not just talking about liberation. I'm not talking about no violence. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm just talking about the fact. It's just a fact it's just a fact of how many of us think and what many of us want. You know what I'm saying? And I'm willing to guarantee you got hundreds of thousands of people who feel and think this way, but then yet nobody's saying anything, which speaks even further to how bad things are for us. And even when we broach the conversation, we're quickly to say, man, no, it's impossible. But who would have thought that a group of Europeans in Berlin would have carved out the continent and then been able to go to it and execute what they executed? I would have never thought of that. I would have never thought of that right there.
Yeah, so, but I mean, whatever.
And put us on the bottom and rung of and look, now I'm gonna be just a little bit. I'm getting a little wild right here, just real quick, because I gotta give them a little bit of view of me, and then relegate us to the bottom rung of the world. Africans to the bottom rung of the world, everywhere, and we don't never talk about it amongst each other, and we don't never even say nothing about it, amongst each other, And we just accept that for the most part. I feel like we accept it because ain't nobody saying anything otherwise. And you ain't gotta be violent. You ain't gotta be going crazy or anything. It's just, hey man, we at the bottom rung of society. You like that? We at the bottom rung of society, man. We slaves over here, and ain't nobody trying to get free. It's crazy.
I understand.
But anyway,
I understand what you're saying, but Mexicans, they have a stereotype amongst them, like they're working like slaves. I'm saying? They do any job that people don't want to do. So, if black people are slaves in America, then what are the Mexicans in America? I'm saying? And I'm not talking about those who've been there for a long time, but I'm talking to those who arrive, who do about anything. You have people from the Philippines as well. A lot of them working in hospitals and others working as maids. I'm saying? You have people who come from many different places. They do any job that people don't want to do. And it's the same for Haitians. You'll find them in the different Caribbean countries, and they will do the jobs that people don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's about season.
I'll tell you the difference in them, those brothers and sisters. The difference in them is that they have a culture around them. They have a cultural fabric and identity that binds them together. Us, we don't have that identity. One of the easiest ways for you to see that we don't have that identity that binds us together and makes us whole is that over here that we call ourselves niggas. That's the easiest thing for you to see. But we don't work together the same way as other people.
This is a part of us. This is a part of black people that using the N-word. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody use the N-word. So, and that's the way it is. I mean, even within a country, in Africa, for example, you have different tribes, and different tribes have different dialects or languages, and they have different customs for marriage, for burials, and so on.
Wait a minute, brother. Oh, no. I know where you. I don't want you to finish that statement because, I mean, if you're going where you're going, because don't make no excuses for nigga. Because that shows that our people are sick.
Hold on, brother.
That shows that our people are sick, right? Aren't we? Anybody who calls themselves.
Yeah, but you must have noticed I've been saying N-word all the time, which shows that I don't even like using that word. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
So I'm not making an excuse at all. What I'm trying to say is that it's not all of us, or it's not all African Americans that use the N-word. There's some people who some people promote drug. Some people could promote killing and all kind of stuff. There's nothing we can do about it. You know what I'm saying? Not at this point. You know what I'm saying?
But, no, well, I have to say this: the N-word, and I'm gonna say nigga because I can, because I'm one of us. Anyway, but that word is all the way up and down, all the way to Jesse Jackson being caught on tape speaking about Obama in that way. You remember that?
I remember, but the thing is that
I'm talking about that's up and down with us, really, man.
But what I'm trying to say is that
it's bad.
It is bad, but it's not the end of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no. But I want to point out that we are sick and ailing. That denotes that there's a serious problem. And when we're talking about the human cord or whatever, I'm just saying, just as human beings, as me being a man of my tribe and of my people, I should say something to that if I understand that way. And if it was an individual, this is an example I use, brother. I say if there was a rape victim, and while that person was being victimized, they were called a certain term as they was being victimized. And when that victimization stopped, when that person got away from that, and later on start calling themselves that very term, you will say that person is sick and in need of some help. And that's where my people are at. Am I correct?
That's what the Nation of Islam says, and they say that in order to hear, you need to be clear. That's the Dianetics program, and the Dianetics was made by a negrophobic dude. You know what I'm saying? So, and we've heard the leader of the organization say that we rebelled against God, so we are marked as a different kind of people, and we're marked on the inside, which manifests of the outside, because the essence of beauty lies in obedience to God, and the essence of ugliness lies in disobedience. So basically, he labeled us, our phenotype, our physical appearance, as the essence of ugliness. Why? Because we allegedly rebelled against God. So this teaching is the Black Muslim version of the curse of Ham. We are cursed by default. You know what I'm saying? This is sickness to me. And as a matter of fact, this is what Dr. Ben said when he addressed that speech of Farrakhan. He said he labeled this a sickness. You see?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if you speak to a Hebrew Israelite and you ask him about me, for example, he might say, "Oh, this brother is sick because he doesn't follow Yahweh." And you might ask a Muslim about me, and he might say, "Well, this brother is sick because he's into Kemet. He's not following Allah." So at the end of the day, you say it can be subjective. You know what I'm saying? So as long as we don't hurt other people, we have to go our own ways, and we have to indeed to try to find solutions. But going back to Africa is not something impossible to do. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to talk too much about it because, like I said, it's one of my goals, and I want to, get to the point where, I did it, and I tell people, I did it, and I've been there for a while. I don't plan on being there for 2 weeks and say, okay, hey, there you go. No, I want to be there, establish, and also help people to make that move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, one of my things is that I don't want to get over there and get caught up in the same bag of doing tours and all that time. Well, in fact, I'm not going to do that. That's no interest in mine. My interest has always been.
You could do it. You could do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's not my interest. My interest
it's not my interest either. But I'm saying,
Yeah. I'm wild. I'm wild in this sense, brother. Is that my only interest is to be free. I want the little baby who I just brought in here and my children, I want them to one day be free and governed by somebody like ourselves, like me and you, who would come up under the science and all that to be governed by.
But something needs to be done about it. You know what I'm saying? Because like for example, you have some Hebrews who like to disrespect Africans on a very regular basis, and I'm saying that all Hebrews will like to disrespect Africans, but many of them disrespect them. They call them all kind of names, calling them, very disrespectful. You have a new movement now called what do they call it now? FBA, Foundational Black Americans. Exactly. And he's been smart about Africans for a very long time, which is crazy when we know he came up with hidden collars.
But that's what I'm saying. Lee, I'm not speaking for people like him.
I'm saying
he want to be. He the nigga.
Hold on.
He the one. I'm just saying. If he'll never call me out on that. He the nigga. He like how we are over here. But he's fine with it.
I understand. But the
he
thing is
he want a bigger cut of the pie.
But the only thing is that Tariq Nasheed and Farrakhan have a huge audience.
Yeah.
A very large audience,
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a problem because he shows what the mindset of the majority of our people is. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so we have to remember the Maroons, they were a minority.
Mm-hmm.
The people who successfully put an end to slavery in Haiti. Initially they were a minority. Most people didn't want to get down against the oppressors, but they did their thing, and ultimately they won. So that's why we should not follow the trend, the majority. because sometimes when I talk about Kemet stuff like that, I remember some people talking about, oh, but where are you temples? Where are you this? Where are you that? Well, let me do my things. Stop putting roadblocks on my path,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
maybe we'll have our temple and stuff like that. But because some people they don't get on the program, they don't get on board, they don't help you, and they like to say, but where is your this and where is your that? You know what I'm saying? Look, Farrakhan is teaching that we are living in a jungle life, that we are the essence of ugliness, and every year they do the Savior's Day, which is in homage to a white dude called Fah Muhammad, and then he gets paid major paper. You know what I'm saying? There's a book called Inside the Nation of Islam, and the guy was a member, and I can't remember if you've reached the rank of minister, but he had a high position, and he talks about that when it's Savior's Day, people spend so much money. Those newspaper that they're selling, there's so much pressure for them to sell them that they actually buy them.
Yeah, I got
And then they
brothers
try
in
to sell them.
Islam
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
I talk to every day, bro.
Yeah. And now they deal with the Dianetics. You know what I'm saying? So
That's terrible.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
terrible, but I don't beat the brothers up about it, man. I mean, like I said, I got brothers I deal with every day.
No, I don't. But I'm just saying for the record, this is the situation. You know, some people who teach that we are mocked, we are cursed. You know what I'm saying? They get the support. You know what I'm saying? Kwanzaa.
No,
Hold on. Kwanzaa.
I don't think that. I got a different vantage point for that, but I like to share.
Hold on. Kwanzaa is celebrated every year. Kwanzaa is a plagiarism of the Jewish holiday Hanukkah. Karenga tortured black women. That's what he went to jail for. You know what I'm saying? And we have black people celebrating Kwanzaa, and then they're wondering, oh, we're not free. We need solutions. You know what I'm saying? So if we identify the problems, that saying is very simple. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when it comes to the Abrahamic belief system, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, for the longest we've been saying, oh, it was black people. Jesus was black. The Jews were black. The Arabs were black. But really, thanks to archaeology, thanks to scholarship, without being biased, we know that those were white people, white skinned people. They were not black people. So some people don't want to leave that alone. It's fine. The only reason they claim that it was black people who created or who are at the origin of those belief systems is because in the first place they are in those belief systems. You know what I'm saying? They have these beliefs and they're trying to rationalize, trying to feel comfortable about that. Now that is demonstrated, that it was not black people at the origin of this stuff, then some of them will be like, yeah, but what does it change? That's my religion, that's my faith, that's my belief. But believing is not knowing. You know what I'm saying? So we can be factual or not. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I encourage the people who claim to be Kemetic, who claim to follow other traditional African ways of life. You know what I'm saying? Get on board. If you don't want to deal with Kemet and Ma'at and the Medu Neter, you feel there's some other African belief system, that you want to go for, then go ahead, because we have this trend of people who say, well, we're not from Kemet, we're from West Africa. I'm not being Kemetic doesn't mean being from Kemet. You know what I'm saying? People convert to Islam doesn't mean that they are Arabs. They don't claim to be Arabs. But many people are hypocrites because they talk about, well, we're from West Africa, but they don't follow any path, any way of life, or any tradition from West Africa. You know what I'm saying? The reality is that they want to remain Abrahamic, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So once again, I'm not the only one who talk about Kemet or teach about Kemet, you know what I'm saying? But you have some people who are fence riders. They have very foul behavior, and we've seen that. They're all over the place. They help other people to bang against us. Sometimes they even bang against us, So our people who claim to be Kemetic, who feel that they are Kemetic, stop giving support to those people who are fence riders. I don't want to say names, but you have people who call us Egyptomaniacs, and they've been doing that for a few years. Look who's down with them. Look who gives them support. Look who's on their platform. Why would you support them? If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, you see? But things are changing. I mean, I'm giving classes to people in different countries. We have children. We are teaching our children. We're going to grow as a community, and we will ultimately take it somewhere. But please, my young brothers and sisters, don't try to be cool with everybody. It will never happen. You will always have opposition.
Yeah, brother, and just to speak to that right there, I've been on for close to 2 decades now, studying the Medu Neter by Ram Nephron Men. And I work with brothers and sisters up within there a whole lot. And that's been basically the major school of thought, the Al-Sar society that I've been able to change my life, make changes with. That and Ifa, And I got a question for you. Is the Ifa tradition in West Africa, is that the remnants of our Kemetic traditions when we had the when we left, when we did the migrations out of Kemet in East Africa, doing all those insurgencies?
I wouldn't know because I'm not too familiar with Ifa, but Ifa seems to be close to what we call Voodoo. Usually, whether it's the Haitian voodoo or the voodoo in the Republic of Benin, or even the voodoo practice in the Caribbean, that they call Santeria, the voodoo practice in New Orleans. A lot of time, there's a lot of many times there's a lot of similarity. But once again, I'm not too
Absolutely.
familiar. I'm not too
In
familiar with
language and
Ifa.
everything. Theo Binga take it all the way there.
Yeah.
What is it, Theophilus Binga? He take it all the way there. Yeah. So those connections are some grand connections that we can always use. I know, brother. I know you got everything. Yeah. I can barely see it, but I know you got everything, brother. I salute you, man, and it was great being on with you. I thank you for having the conversation. Let me express myself, and I enjoy learning even more about the Nation of Islam in that situation, man. Dang, man. I hope now I know I'm gonna be now I know I'm gonna fuss with my guys for a minute because we're gonna have to talk
Well,
about this.
well,
This
I
is
will
what we
say,
do, though. I keep it real.
yeah,
We
it
know
will
how
be a
to
waste.
agree to disagree.
It will be a waste of time because no matter what we tell them, they will remain in their belief systems. But so brother, you said you're the one who said you want to learn the Medu Neter, right?
Oh yeah, I'm very much interested,
Yeah. Well,
and my queen is as well. Huh?
yeah. Well, really, like I said, feel free to send an email to me, and when I have like 10 people, then I will make that group for the Saturday at 11 p.m. I just really want to have 10 people at first, and then eventually,
Mm-hmm.
there'll be like maybe two, three, or maybe five who will not continue because that's always how it is. But feel free to tell you people around you. I just want 10 people, and then we can do that group. So I'll
All
be
right.
more than
Well,
happy, and I'm actually very happy lately, and that's why I'm live streaming less than before, because I do classes several days of the week. So some days I do two classes, and that's after I work because I work full time. So I come from work in the evening, and then I'll do one class and do two class. But the Saturday at 11 p.m., just like the Friday group, is better because it will actually be 5 a.m. where I am, but I will have time. So the lesson don't have to be an hour. It can be an hour and a half. It can be 2 hours, and people can have the time to ask their questions, and we can, at the end, have a little chit chat. You know what I'm saying? So it's very nice. It's very nice. I just need enough people. That's all. So once again, brothers and sisters,
all right,
get
brother.
on board so we can make this happen. But
All right. Well, thank you,
thank you for
brother.
coming in. All right, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. Peace.
Cheers, brother.
Habibi Faoudia.
Habibi Fahodi. And yeah, brothers and sisters. Is there anybody else who would like to learn the Meta Nature? And I haven't received any email, and it's always like that. You see, I always have people say, "Yeah, I want to learn it. I want to learn it. I want to learn it." I haven't received any email. I've received a donation from the sister. I received a super chat, but I haven't received any email, and that's a thing. I want you to understand, brothers and sisters, that I have people I'm doing individual classes with, but now I want to do groups for many reasons. So for the individual classes, I had some people and I said, okay, is that day good for you? Yeah, okay, well, just send the $10 and we can do it. And we did it just like that, So May 1 is asking, where's your email? I'm going to share the email again. But for the group class, it could happen actually even next week. All I need is enough people, just 10 people, So here's my email address once again. I'm sharing it in the chat. Email me. And at the end of the day, even if I get 10 people that email me and tell me, yeah, I'm good with the Saturday 11 p.m. EST, New York time, when I have the 10 people, and I will send them the email to say, okay, it's on now. All you need to do is send the $10, and then I'll send the link for the lesson. Then most likely you will have like 7 or 8 people, or maybe 6 people that would actually make the payment. You know what I'm saying? And it's a reality. I've dealt with stuff like that many times. You know what I'm saying? But if 10 people say they're okay, and I say, okay, let's go, we can do it. If there's 5 people, I'll still do it, But that's the reason why I don't want to do it with just 5 people saying that they want to be down, because if I only have 5 people say, yeah, I'll be there whenever it's on, let me know, and I'll be there Saturday, 11 p.m. EST. And then when it's time to do the class, I might have just 1 person or maybe 0. So I'd rather have 10 people who say that they're willing to do it, So it's as easy as that, Anyway, brothers and sisters, it's been 3 hours I've been live streaming. It's 1:45 a.m. here in France, so I'm working tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna go now, but if there's one thing I want you to remember, is that I want us to learn the culture, and we can go through the Medunetcha, so we can understand what we mean when we say Uncle Jaseneb, we can understand what we mean when you say the Ankh Mira Jet. So we can understand what we're saying when we have names like Imenhotep, like Inpu, like Aset, like Usir, So you can understand what I say when you hear me go Hotep Senuhena Senut Itiren Shakandugu Kemet. Hotep Senuhena Senut Iti. We go through all that during the classes, you know what I'm saying? So when you hear Hyksos, it comes from Heka Chasut. You understand what I'm saying? So when you hear Waset, that's what they call thieves. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear Menefer, that's what they call Memphis. And you have a town in America that's named after this place. You know what I'm saying? So then you have knowledge, not conjecture. And then when somebody will come to you and say, well, that glyph with the army means Allah, you can say, doesn't mean Allah at all. Stop it, brother. And you can pass this knowledge to your loved ones and your children. It's very important. So we can go as a community. All right, brothers and sisters. So thank you very much for being there, brothers and sisters. I'm a bit tired. Maybe it shows. But like I said, I've been live streaming for 3 hours. It's 1:48 a.m. and I have to work later on, so I'm going to get some rest. I really like the interaction. Thank you for the interaction, brothers and sisters. Thank you for the likes. And remember, whenever I put up a video, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, type in Hotep, type in what's up. You can type in, greetings from wherever you are from, greetings from Illinois, greetings from Chicago, greetings from Dallas, greetings from Georgia. You know what I'm saying? This helps for the algorithm. As a matter of fact, there's 26 likes, so 27 now, and I appreciate that. That's a very good look, and that will encourage me. Sometimes I feel like live streaming, but then I'm like, when I live stream, there's not many people. But now, it will encourage me to, go live more often. All right. You see, May 1 is from Ohio, but feel free to type that in the comment as well. Once the video is up after the live stream, that helps with the algorithm. Leave any comment you want. You can say what's up. You can say what's good. You can say what's popping. You can say what's cracking. You know what I'm saying? Leave something. It's very important. Hit that thumbs up. If you don't want to learn the Medunetcha, then think about me. Once a month, send $1, just $1 a month. You know what I'm saying? You see the churches, how people make it rain. They support the churches. The Muslims support the mosque. The Jews support the synagogue. You know what I'm saying? So stay safe, stay healthy. If I'm allowed to, by the nature, I will definitely holler back at you, Hotep. And thank you, sir. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Thank you once again for the donation, to the sister that donated, to the brother that donated, to the people who hit that thumbs up, who hit that like button. I appreciate that. Thank you for your presence. Okay. And if you want to get on the panel next time, then feel free. I usually put the link. I just want people to show their face. That's all. So even if you disagree, you will see we will not be on the rah-rah stuff. I don't deal with the rah-rah stuff. So dua itu dua necheru Hotep. Now, for the record, for those who don't know,
I'm giving Medu Nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, Before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody is interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Nature classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class. And all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Nature class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/Ma'at Forever.